A night in with MauLer and the drinker, getting trashed with the web screen thinkers. A cheap night cause I'm feeling kinda thrifty, got a 10-pack of beers and a bottle of whiskey. Hop up the cork, have a glass of wine, pass they'll say I'll be fine. Trouble walking in a straight line, but pour me a Pinot Noir. It's open bar with our hosts, MauLer and the critical drinker.
Well, MauLer. Here we are once more.
What an exciting night. We've got the grand finale to a 5-season running show to discuss, as well as the return to the silver screen for Star Wars.
Both of those things sound a lot better on paper than they were in reality.
I don't know what you mean. The problem for me, of course, is I was looking forward to talking about Star Wars, but my theater played a fucking handful of episodes of a TV show. It was insane. I didn't even get to see the movie.
Funny you should say that. We will definitely get into that soon enough because, yeah, what an experience that was. The Mango and Grok. We have experienced it. It's like,
at least they had designated pee breaks between the episodes. So it's all good, guys, you know?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, whenever there was like a commercial for an Indian gambling website, I would just like nip off and, you know, take care of some business first and then come back. It was
Scottish theaters, you know?
They're up to. They're crazy. They were conscientious enough to play it at 1.25 speed for me, though. So, I mean, what can I say? They're pretty accommodating here in Scotland.
And before chat gets on, I've already told Drinker to stream mixtape, okay? You can't expect me to... I was about to say torture, but that gives the game away. You can't expect me to request further of this. You know, it's up to him.
Well, yeah, I mean, you just messaged me today about this and said, yeah, dude, you've got to stream mixtape. So, yes, I consider myself briefed.
It's because I want you to have fun. It's got nothing to do with me wanting to see you suffer at all. Not in any way.
You hate me, don't you?
No, I would never do that.
Well, I kind of hate myself because, yeah, I've watched the finale of The Boys as well today. So... Yeah,
just it's so satisfying. It concludes all the threads. Oh, you sit there and you think, you know what, this was worth it. This was worth being even remotely slightly invested in any of these characters.
It definitely was, and you can tell how satisfied the actors were as well. Like,
yeah,
you know, they weren't just trying to elevate terrible material. You know, they were committed to something amazing right there. So, yes. Anyway, well, before we get into that, how about, are you ready, MauLer, for a couple of pointless facts about the year?
I am indeed.
The year that was. So, in the year of our Lord, 1985, some of the major events of this year, first of all, Live Aid, a massive dual-venue concerts in London and Philadelphia at the same time, organized by Bob Geldof, which raised millions of pounds or dollars, depending on your persuasion, for Ethiopian famine relief. So, well done, Bob. We appreciate that. Never been anything quite like that since then. Remember they tried to do one a few years back, and it was like just this horrible, cheesy, I don't know, like just a pale imitation of it. Like that was a proper like cultural event, Live Aid.
Yeah.
You know, it just feels like you can't really replicate that these days. Speaking of replicating things, New Coke. So Coca-Cola, they briefly replaced their original formula with so-called New Coke, which sparked a massive public backlash that led to the return of Coca-Cola Classic and actually increased their sales afterwards. Now, you could argue, and there are many conspiracy theories out there, that this was a bit of like 4D chess on Coke's part because I think sales had been lagging a little bit up until that point. So release a wildly unpopular product, take a short-term hit, then bring back original product to massive acclaim and gets the rewards long-term. I'll let you guys decide, though, if that was really what happened. But yeah, conspiracies continue to this day about New Coke.
Remember New Slim?
Well, sorry, New Slurm.
New Slim.
We'll bring back Slurm Classic, and we'll make billions. Mwah!
Mwah! In the world of technology and stuff, the domain name system was first introduced for addressing internet sites. They weren't really websites back then, but yeah, that was when it was first implemented, which is kind of cool. That's the beginnings of the modern internet as we knew it. Also, Microsoft Windows was launched for the first time. Windows 1.0,
wow.
First ever graphical user interface that they had, which was, again, pretty neat.
It would go on to improve and improve and improve, and then suddenly start Not improving.
Getting
getting really shit, actually. Yeah.
Well, once you remove people's ability to control any aspect of the operating system and just kind of lock it all behind a wall, it's going to get a bit shit. And then force constant upgrades and updates with it. It's so funny. You ever watch those videos of like Gen Z like powering up an old PC from the 90s and like using Windows 95 just to see how they cope with it? And they're just like completely losing their minds. Like, oh my God, you had to do this every time you turned on a computer? Yeah.
Really? I haven't seen that video.
It's wild for them. But in the world of film and stuff, the big movie of the year, Back to the Future.
Excellent. Gosh.
Interestingly, though, not a huge domestic haul, 210 million, which, sounds like quite a lot. It kind of wasn't compared to previous years. I'll get into that in a second, actually. Rambo 2 was the next biggest one with 150 million domestic. We got Rocky 4. It was a big year for Sylvester Stallone. Like 2 of his movies were in the top, the top 5 for the entire year. We got Cocoon. Still quite like that, actually. Jewel of the Nile, sequel to Romancing the Stone. It wasn't as good. It's not quite as good. The Goonies as well came out that year. That was number 9 with 61 million domestic.
Good old Goonies.
However, the year in general was considered an unsuccessful one for film. Despite a record number of new releases, many films failed at the box office. Ticket sales were down 17% compared to the previous year. They believed, or industry experts at the time believed, that it was partly due to a lack of original ideas. Fucking try living in 2026, man. Jesus. But yeah, a lot of films that were centered around fantasy, magic, they tended to fail in 85. Audiences were now leaning towards science fiction, I guess for obvious reasons. It's in the wake of Star Wars. The industry expert at the time, Janet Maslin, said the fault for this lay partly with Steven Spielberg. He created such a successful template with films like E.T. And Close Encounters that many fantasy films had tried to imitate them. There was also a saturation of like films targeted towards younger audiences. Apparently, what was the other thing it said here? Cocoon was a surprise hit. No one expected that to do well, but apparently, it hit the top 10, so that's pretty impressive. Only Back to the Future really like surpassed expectations. I think Rambo was expected to do well and did. So, yeah. So interesting, like a lot of these films that are considered classics today weren't really like, it was considered like a pretty bad year for films, and it's like, damn, man, try living today.
Yes, they didn't know. They couldn't have known.
They did not know the horrors that awaited them. Anyway, should we assemble our bar, MauLer? I think we should.
I think we should. They're desperate to get in here.
Yeah, chomping at the bit. All right, well, welcome to the stage, everyone. The Little Platoon, Kung Fu Hot Dog, and Darkhour. Welcome, gents.
Hello.
I love those glasses, man.
You mean these glasses, drinker? Or perhaps these ones? Or maybe... Oh, wait a minute. Well, you know that drill already because I'm Kenny Everett 2.0, and I happen to be brown. Deal with it.
You had a good thing going with those sunglasses, and you pushed too far with it. Now you can see your eyes. You're exposed for the world to see. This gentleman, I actually met him at the premiere for All in Good Time, MauLer's short film. And you'd been a regular contributor on the channel and a super chatter before. Good to finally have you on, my friend. Good to have you here.
It's an honor, sir.
And as always, Darkhour, Little Platoon, it's a pleasure to have you guys back on again. Always nice to talk to you guys.
Thanks for having us.
So, I mean, I wish I could bring you in with better things to discuss, but we have what we have. Okay, so I can't help what gets released this week. We kind of agreed we would start with The Boys because it's very much dominated the conversation over the past couple of days. The season finale, the final ever episode of The Boys, released a couple of days ago. Blood and Bone. This was it. This was the resolution to all of the plot arcs, every character, every subplot, everything that had been simmering along for 5 seasons. It all came down to this. And I actually watched it myself, even though I tuned out of The Boys a couple of seasons back. Boy, did I have some catching up to do when I jumped into this one. But I experienced it. just so I could relate it to you. So, how did you guys find it?
Who wants to go first?
I watched it just today, funny enough. And I will say, I watched the first 2 seasons and I thought, yeah, not bad. Didn't see the rest. So when I sat down and I watched this episode, something odd was just really odd to me, because the guy that plays Mother's Milk went Ozempic, like many of the other cast members. And Brother Bro Hamid, I thought that was John Cryer wearing blackface, but it turns out it wasn't him. So, yeah, it was just a very strange sight to behold.
I do believe the actor playing Mother's Milk, I think he had some like actual medical issues in real life. I don't know if he was he diabetic or something and he had to lose weight because of it?
I vaguely remember reading that. Yeah, so like he went on Ozempic to lose weight to stave off whatever the early onset diabetes things. I thought he'd been recast when I first tuned into season 5, but he hadn't. Hey, losing weight is good. It's great. Well done, you. Shame about the show you're in though, because that really does suck. Like really badly.
Yes. Yeah, I was, as I say, I had to do some catching up, and it's like, oh, right. So, yeah, Homelander's now president of the United States, and he is effectively a god, or believes himself to be, and like he's getting everyone to buy into this, and he's going to proclaim himself the Messiah on Easter, and just assume that the world is going to buy into that, I guess. And he's got an army of psychics on standby to brain melt anyone who disagrees with him and who's not a true believer. That is a wild plot. I mean,
it is, and there's an almost interesting aspect of the setup that's in the penultimate episode, I think, or is when it kicks off, is when they do the test screening for his new movie where Jesus comes down and anoints him the new Messiah, basically. And the test screening has the psychics in the room, and they're all being overlooked by Starlight and Mother's Milk. And the only reason the psychics can't detect them is because they're high, I guess. Like weed is good counter effect for psychics. They can't read your mind if you're high. That goes on for such a fucking long time. It's like, okay, that's kind of an interesting premise. I see where you're going with it. Oh no, you're still going. Yeah, fine, great, wonderful. That was like dull enough, and because I believe people were led to think that at some point Homelander might go totally mad and bring great wrath and destruction upon all of the world. It was sort of what a lot of people, I think, were clinging on for. Just everybody kind of broadly dislikes, well, most people broadly dislike a lot of the directions the show had taken, but there might be some weird satisfaction in seeing Homelander finally do the thing we're always told he's one step away from doing. That never happens. He goes out pathetically. And I'm not necessarily opposed to a pathetic end for any character, but the problem is it goes out pathetically and against his entire character. Can't really beat MauLer's description of it on X, so I won't try to do that. But it just felt like this is just Eric Kripke's final chance to get over the fact that he really, really hates a certain orange politician, and this is really what he wants him to do. It's like the final end is like suck my dick and then die. It's a total waste of time. No point really watching 5 seasons preceding this to get caught up on where this ends, because it's not going to pay off anything you find interesting.
Even just going through the mechanics of this episode, right? So their plan was they would sneak into the White House where Homelander is delivering his address from the Oval Office. They sneak in through JFK's secret fuck tunnel where he used to sneak out and screw Marilyn Monroe, right? Funnily enough, this was entirely expected. And so they have agents on standby to attack them. So they get locked in a corridor, and they're just shooting them with firearms. Now, a bunch of these people are supes, and they have either advanced healing abilities or they're extremely durable. Why are you just shooting at them with guns? Why not pump that room full of poison gas or fucking anthrax or something, or incinerate them? There's a million things you could do, but they do the worst way possible, and they easily get rescued, and then they just carry on. And even though there's been this massive security breach, no one tells Homelander. Homelander's completely unaware of this and just carries on with his address. How? Is it even worth asking these questions, or am I just wasting my time with this?
It's funny. A lot of people have been.
I heard they were going to sneak into the White House. It's just like, oh, So we're not going to try and do something even faintly believable. You can just get in there, fine.
Sneaking into the White House is just a thing you can do, and once you're in there, like, it's really easy to then get to the Oval Office. There's not like an entire army of Secret Service agents standing in your way. Like, Homelander wouldn't be evacuated or nothing. Just okay, sure.
Been seeing a bunch of posts about how this is the one finale that, unlike Stranger Things and Game of Thrones and all this other stuff, people are mad, but they can't even blame it on plot holes. They have to admit they just don't like being made fun of. They don't like blah blah blah. And this, and I was like, wow, this is the one you choose to say that about? It's just nonsense throughout the entire thing.
There's even thought, like, even with me playing catch up, I was like, there is so many fucking questions about what's going on here that just makes no sense.
I get bored watching them nerf the shit out of Homelander whenever it's time for him to lose. I already knew that was going to happen ultimately. But, like, what is the premise of this show if we strip it down to very, very specific basics and we don't even include the specific character motivations, right? It's like, evil Superman. Okay, yeah, why is that scary? It's like, well, if a guy has the powers of Superman, but also doesn't care about anyone but himself and has the power to do whatever he wants, like, that's kind of scary. It's like, but so is it game over? It's like, well, he can't be everywhere all at once. Maybe he doesn't want to destroy the whole world. And so if a group of guys had the intention of killing him and his team of evil superheroes, how would they do it? Then you start watching the first season, and the first episode gives you an insight of, like, well, there was this dude called Translucent, had like a invisibility power, and he had a shell around him that made him borderline invulnerable, but they eventually shoved fucking C4 up his ass and blew him from inside out, exploded him. And you're like, oh shit, and there's an effort for that over the course of the first 2 episodes, and it's like, oh, is that the show? We're gonna have to, like, gradually get through all of these, like, demonic versions of heroes you're familiar with, like the Flash or fucking Batman or whatever have you, but it's all these, like, horrible versions, and maybe do some other storytelling along the way until we finally, at the end of the show, get to Homelander and we put everything we've learned and known to defeat him in a very hard-fought battle. And it's like, no, we're going to invent at some point that there's just an ability to take powers away from people, and then he's going to beg for his life, suck cock, eat shit, and die.
Yeah, because I was kind of, again, I was having to play catch up with this. So, like, Soldier Boy had the ability to, like, shoot a kind of beam out of himself, a beam of energy that would, like, nuke any superhuman that's caught in its blast radius, right? It would, like, remove your powers, basically, because you'd been exposed to some kind of radiation that gave him that ability. And so they transplant that into Kimiko, and she can do it if she gets really angry. And so they test it on, like, what the fuck is her name again? The woman who's, like, the smartest person on the planet.
Oh, Sister Sage?
Sister Sage.
Yeah, Sister Sage.
Sage Onion, yeah.
So, she just gets blasted with it and immediately becomes retarded, and then that's her. Like, she's quite happy with that. So she goes off to Harry Potter land or whatever. And
she's supposed to be, like, the key to getting that plot even to work. So the whole thing they've got is just stick Kimiko in a room and blast her with the radiation. But they didn't know the exact precise dose, and it took the Russians ages to fiddle with a dial, I guess, and get the precise right dose. So she sort of almost helps them out with it. I just remember thinking it's quite funny. Like, she's being blasted with radiation, and 2 seconds later they open the door, and then someone goes in and just carries her out of the room. So you're going to die if you keep doing it. Not her. She's fine. You, person who is not a superhero, should not be entering a fucking radioactive room carrying out an irradiated person every 2 seconds. But they seem to forget how radiation works. But she sort of helps them get ultimately this thing to work. At the cost of Frenchie's life, and then Kimiko gets this power, uses it on Sister Sage, and then she becomes, well, the show seems to think this is the moment at which Sister Sage becomes dumb, but she's been dumb all the way through.
Well, I think she's an example, I suppose, of a smart character written by dumb people. Like, they think that she's smart, but what she does doesn't really bear that.
Drinker, when we meet her house is full of books. So,
oh well, that means she's, like, clearly intelligent.
I'm pretty sure books are smart things. I think that's what smart people do. So.
I mean, because the radiation thing, just they play fast and loose with that. Like, they're like, at one point, Huey's got a Geiger counter, and he's, like, just scanning Kimiko, and he's like, "Well, yeah, we're all absorbing large amounts of radiation, but never mind." Anyway, moving on. Like, that seems like it's really going to kill you or give you cancer or something. Don't you want to do something? Nah, it's fine. Don't worry. It's like, okay, sure.
I think the frustration as well. Oh, sorry.
No, after you.
I was going to say, I think the frustration with a lot of fans is that season 3 and 4 clocked more views than the previous seasons of The Boys. So the biggest question is, why on Amazon pumping more money into this than Rings of Power? And then what you get basically is what you got in this final season.
Well, it's I guess from their perspective, like The Boys is the closest thing they've got to like a mainstream cultural breakthrough. Season 1 really did make an impact, and so unlike Rings of Power, which was just like a laughing stock immediately, season 1 of The Boys, I still hold that up as being really fucking good TV. I liked it. I liked the characters. I liked what they were doing. It's subversive in a good way at the time. Season 2, there was a bit of a drop off in terms of writing quality, and I think you could see how it was becoming much more on the nose politically, but okay, fine. You can still put up with it. By season 3, I was just like getting so fucking bored with it. And yeah, like, I don't know. I noped out at that point. It wore me down. I think it was all the like, not debauchery, but just like it's toilet humor of like the worst variety, where it's like, okay, how many dicks can we see explode? How many like gory moments can we have? And it's not even entertaining after a certain point. It's just exhausting.
Yeah, like how many times do you see a guy with a giant extendable penis flailing around? So I've seen that guy so many times. It's like it was kind of half funny once, and now it isn't.
Yeah. So probably the reason why is the earlier in the show you go, the more close to the source material it is. They get further away as you go along. And the great irony is that so they turn Black Noir into a completely different character. In the comic, he is actually a clone of Homelander. He's like a deranged clone that is used as a contingency plan. So there's almost like a message in there that you can only replace evil with greater evil. The whole thing is it was actually a relatively smart deconstruction in the comic form. And then they just started going very current political, I should say, with the route. And it just to the point where this is completely made up. This ending has nothing to do with anything. And that's so not only will people who enjoyed the books be completely upset, it also, like MauLer said, it there's no payoff for what was even set up early on.
This one pissed me off as well, actually. Frenchie's just like,
yes,
saying he saw everyone's butthole. It's like, again, it labors the joke so fucking long. It's like, okay, this guy's just passed away. Like, can you not even have a funeral scene and just give us a little like genuine, poignant moment? It's like, nah.
Yeah. Are they making fun of French people being voyeurs and into a-holes? And that's what you read at the eulogy. Poor Huey. Then he had to do a better version at the end for the other people.
No, what it would feel like is like that would be a one-line gag. Like, okay, he injects a tiny little bit of humor to add a bit of levity to a really solemn situation, but then the bulk of his note is actually serious, and they could have done that. They didn't. They kept this unfunny gag going way too long, and I don't know, it just feels emblematic of so much of the humor that I saw in this episode and this show, where it's just what's the most base, like simplistic bit of toilet humor or whatever we can throw in there. What is the name of like the sort of chief of staff in the White House? I can't remember the fucking character's name. The girl who rips her hair out all the time and she's like the psychic one.
Ashley?
Yeah.
I think that's the one. Yeah. And like, again, like every piece of her dialogue is like calling someone a cunt or like making clit jokes or like he's gonna rip my tits out through my vag. And I'm like, what human talks like this? It's not even funny.
Even Butcher has that problem, like having become really just this flanderized version of himself. He was like one of the more interesting elements of season 1 in particular, and you can sort of see they sort of kept going even the way through the bad seasons, basically 2 onwards. Is that you're still setting him up to be like the antithesis, but also the mirror to Homelander. And the lengths he's prepared to go to get his extreme vengeance that he's motivated to go on. The show sort of at some point just kind of it bakes this in and stops trying to do anything with it and just reduces him to this vaguely cockney swear machine. And makes one of its more interesting dynamic components kind of redundant. But that's basically true of every character. Like as soon as you start looking at one character and saying, you're just a flanderized parody version of your season 1 self, then you look at another character, the same thing happens. And it is sort of brought out in that funeral scene. It's used as the butt of a joke because, of course, you can joke about the death of one of your long-standing characters if you don't care about them. And Kripke doesn't really care about these characters. He doesn't really care about the show as a show. His ambitions for storytelling, if he ever had them, disappeared roughly like midway through season 2. I think one of the writers on season 1 was not brought back as well, and had some fairly good credits to his name. And ever since then, it's just become like, how can I contrive a way for these characters to tell this extremely current day joke, which is going to date terribly and quite often will break the show. So there's a bit it is in the finale episode, right, where the richest guy in the world comes, and he's the richest guy in the world. He's a tech billionaire, and he's an amateur astronaut, and he wants to go to space, and he wears a black hat. And it's like, okay, we're doing Elon. What clever thing can we do with Elon? Homelander whisks him away up to space in 3 seconds. So it's like, right, that's lazy as fuck. But you realize what you've done now, don't you? That means you can't trap Homelander in a room with people because you've established he can go basically 250,000 kilometers a second. You can't do this. Your joke is breaking your power scaling. Your joke is breaking your plot. And yet he did it without thought for what it would mean for the later fight scene. And so, of course, later when the fight scene happens, he gets trapped in a room because he decides he can't move that quickly anymore.
Are you referencing power scaling there, Platoon? I've heard that no one cares about that at all.
Can we talk about
you're an embarrassment?
Can we talk about the Deep as well? How he just he's again supposed to be super powered. He's incredibly durable, very difficult to hurt normally. He just gets skull fucked by an octopus, I guess, and dies.
So
that's his end.
2 halves to that conversation are: 1, why do you care? Which is obviously really fucking useless and annoying. The other half is, actually, he died the same way Translucent did. The octopus got inside him and killed him, and that's how you can kill all these soups. And I was like, oh, talk about fucking media literacy. Translucent wasn't a super duper creature inside, only the shell outside, and allowed him to be invisible. The Deep went to the Mariana Trench. He cannot be squishy on the inside with a shell. He'd be dead. He has to be incredibly durable throughout the whole book. I hate to put it this way, but the boys, fucking Eric Kripke, would love me putting it this way. His anus would be fucking the tightest, tighter than a vault. Like, it would be the most incredibly... An octopus has no chance.
And then, of course, against that anus.
The weird thing as well is he's got Aquaman powers. He can, like, super speed swim.
That's what I was going to say as well. Like, why is he floundering around, like, trying to swim like a regular human? I thought he could, like, glide through the water. But yeah,
so
it's
again,
like,
nothing makes sense with what they've told us throughout this whole show, and it's just like, oh, it's just power scaling shit. Who cares? They're all dead. And you're like, nothing means anything then. Why should I care?
Yep.
Yeah, like, why can't, a regular person just, like, blast a fucking atomic bomb from their eyes or something, like, if we don't care about power scaling anymore?
People were asking if the octopus had V. I don't think the octopus had V.
I mean, just to go back to that,
told several times, and I'm sure everyone here has been told, and everyone who's ever talked about The Boys will have been told this many times at all. It's like, you just don't like it because it's making fun of a politician you like. It's like, but I seem to be doing a bit more media analysis than you are in this situation. Like, I actually want, when I again, absolutely fine for you to kill Homelander in any way you've written to justify. But I can't see him go to space in 3 seconds and then see him flying at 2 meters a second when he goes in the final fight scene. That just breaks my immersion. I know he can escape this, and the show is lying to me when it tells me that he can't. Well, I'm trying to judge this as a work of art first and foremost. I don't really care if it tells jokes about any politician. I know.
Something I find weird, right? Because they're hell bent on humiliation. So, we'll take Homeland's powers away from him and make him cry. That's so humiliating. It's like, this reminds me of the I'm the best card player ever. I'm a badass, like, cowboy type in some game or film because I cheat and other people don't know. I'm always like, doesn't that undermine that? Doesn't it undermine the humiliation of Homelander that you couldn't defeat him while he had his powers? Like, he was impossible. You couldn't find a way to defeat him in a way that like outsmarted him, or you used teamwork, for lack of a better classic way of putting it. I wouldn't even mind getting the powers out of the picture eventually, but to not be able to defeat him ever while he had his powers, like, the season 3 episode, they came close, and I thought that was just a setup. It's like, yeah, we just need enough people in the right way, and you need to counter the flight. That's the main thing.
I mean,
it's like the old.
I feel this.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say as well. I feel this isn't how Homelander would behave if you took his powers away. Like, if he was in front of Butcher with his powers removed, I think he would just know that he's fucked. Like, he's going to be killed. And there's no amount of begging. There's nothing he can offer him that's going to stop that from happening. I think he would realize that immediately. So what is even the point of that pathetic, like, begging and whimpering?
you know what it is. It's the fantasy.
I know exactly what it is. Yeah, and I guess, I suppose I should bring up the quote actually, because I think this made me sad in a way of like, there's actors in this show who were doing a way better job than the fucking writers. Where it's Eric Kripke talking about Anthony Starr and his portrayal of Homelander. He said Starr's goal was never to create Homelander as a Donald Trump parody. Well, clearly Kripke wouldn't have liked that, I guess. But I totally understand Ant's point of view. He's like, I'm not doing a caricature. I'm trying to create a character with a consistent internal life. Imagine that. Imagine an actor who just wants to play a character with an understandable personality and motivations. He says, and I absolutely agree and respect that, Kripke says, so we'll just work on purely internal logic and character motivation. Lies. And we won't bring Trump into it all that much. Well, that's a lie.
Well, the thing is, Anthony Starr was just sneaking in character, basically, throughout this whole show.
This was him carrying the show on his shoulders, like him and Carl Urban. But it's just like, when your actors are having to work against the writers to try and like preserve some semblance of character motivation and make it somewhat like understandable and believable, you got problems. And yeah, I hate to say it, this fucking guy, just every interview, everything he talks about, it always comes back to Trump. It's like, that is probably the first thing he thinks about when he wakes up in the morning and the last thing he thinks about before he goes to sleep at night.
Well, we got confirmation because he sent another tweet. I think Elon Musk basically said that the ending was pathetic, and then I think he went to Twitter and said, "Oh, it's the best review I could ever have got."
You mean this one?
Like, yeah, this looks like the one. I just can't. I cannot imagine it. Like, how do you live like this? How do you call yourself like an artist or a writer if your soul, like the sum of your creative ambitions, is just, I want to piss off this chud today? It's so boring. It's not edgy. It's not funny. It's not clever. You're boring. You're so boring.
I would say to him what I said with regards to someone like Kathleen Kennedy at the end of the sequel trilogy. I hope it was worth it. You know, I hope it was worth alienating at least half your audience, tanking your ratings, turning your show into the very thing that it used to satirize, just to own the chuds for like 5 or 10 minutes. I hope it was worth all of that.
Because in their mind it is. In their mind it is. That's the thing.
I guess for him, but then
for us as normal humans, no. For somebody who has complete and absolute derangement syndrome, whatever it may be, whoever it may be for, like targeted towards, that is a win to them, and you cannot convince them otherwise. That's basically the situation.
I think so, but it's just, you know, I look at this show and I think with the start that it had with season 1, I think it could have been one of the most important or influential or just well-received shows of the decade. It really could. Instead, it's became this massively divisive thing where really half the country will love it because of what it espouses, the other half will hate it, and it didn't need to be that way. And that's not even taking into account the absolute dog shit writing towards the end, where it just was a complete season 8 of Game of Thrones in terms of resolutions to all this stuff. So, I mean, yeah, like I say, I hope it was worth it, Eric, for all of that.
I'll say the biggest letdown for me, 2005, we had this series called Supernatural with the Winchester brothers, written by Eric Kripke. Fantastic. He lasted 5 seasons, then he left and did his own thing. Luckily, he didn't take Sarah Gamble with him. She was also a writer on that show. But I know the two discussed each other's shows afterwards, what they thought about them. But it's just such a fall from grace for Kripke to be involved in this show. And you're thinking, oh my God, Kripke fanboy, let's get excited. And then season 2 and 3 and 4 comes along and it's like, it's diminishing returns, ladies and gentlemen.
I think with this one as well, the Eric Kripke that we have nowadays is not the same one that we had back in the 2000s. No.
He was taken over by an alien.
But well, I think, you know, events in the real world broke his brain. And he's not going to recover.
And I agree with MauLer. Anthony Starr, amazing actor. Carl Urban, fantastic. But if you get depressed and you want to get your fix of Anthony Starr, watch this all-time classic right here, ladies and gents. You cannot go wrong. Absolutely untouched. Banshee. you rewatch it for so many reasons. I'm not going to say what they are because we'll probably get demonetized and flung off the air. But yeah, it's a great rewatch again and again and again.
I have heard nothing but good things about Banshee.
We'll see.
You haven't seen a drinker? Wow.
I have only so many hours in the day, sadly.
I think we'll see. And the answer to the question, was it worth it? We'll probably see whether it was worth it. And also, how, by extension, how much of this show was just carried by the performances of people like Anthony Starr when the next spin-off launches. Because I know Gen V had a couple of seasons. That's not continuing. There's at least one more planned. There might be two more planned. I can't remember exactly what the rest of the franchise plans are. But if you don't have Homelander, if you don't have Anthony Starr's performance, if you don't have Billy Butcher or like any of the other people who've been doing their best, because there's a lot of talent involved in The Boys. It's just none of it made it into the writer's room. Without those people, what do those spin-offs do? I can't see them sustaining any interest whatsoever. And it'll probably further annoy them. I think they've been annoyed this entire time. The most popular character in their show is the one they really, 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 really want you to hate. They can't stand it, and it's kind of become it's the answer to people who say like you're not smart enough to get that it's been mocking Trump the whole time. It's like, really, you think anyone's not smart enough to get that? I don't think that's the reason lots of people like it. Lots of people, I think, liked Homelander because it was a way almost of directing the show. Everybody saw how keen Kripke was on making you hate his stand-in for an evil politician. And they saw how angry he got when you didn't. So a lot of fans continued watching it and liking Homelander a lot because it's kind of like a fuck you to the creator. You're kind of directing the show by directing the creator by making him so mad that you're not seeing the same thing that he sees when he looks at a certain politician. And so people kind of watched it ironically. And then the double irony is that they'll then be told they weren't smart enough to get it, when the people saying they weren't smart enough to get it weren't smart enough to get why so many people were watching the show.
For me, like watching it was just a matter of every scene that ran, you'd complete it and be like, what was the value of that? And Homelander ones were the only ones that started to even appeal to me. I was watching season 4. I hadn't seen it before, and all the boys stuff is retarded. They go on insane nonsense plot lines all the time that are stupid and pointless. Butcher just loops. He's constantly like, am I evil? Yeah. Am I going to fuck over the boys? Nah, I'm good now. I'm coming back. I'm a good guy. Nah, I'm going to fuck them over. Nah, I'm a good guy. Over and over again. I just can't be bothered to care. Starlight just gradually becomes more Skeletor, and they keep trying to throw in like stupid plot lines for her as well. Every other bad guy just spinning their wheels. What the fuck was going on with Black Noir? I don't know. But every time you get to Homelander, you roll the dice and you might get a scene you're like, shit, man, I think that was actually kind of good. Like, I quite enjoyed all this shit with the how they tortured him as a kid. Like, there's that rooftop scene on the season 3. There's a lot of just conflict he has with Soldier Boy that I was kind of like, this is something.
Well, again, it's like two good actors, you know, Anthony Starr and Jensen Ackles, like going at it. It's pretty cool to see.
A couple of people in chat mentioned...
Also, for the people of chat, MauLer does not endorse torturing children unless they're really naughty.
No.
I was just going to say, some of the people in chat mentioned this, and it was something I was thinking of the whole time you guys were talking. It's the Rorschach effect. It's Alan Moore hates the fact people loved Rorschach to this day. And it's pretty much that's kind of the term. It's like the unofficial term that a lot of people use.
Yes, he is properly driven mad by that because he's a fucking hardcore communist retard.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's this one stuck out for me as well. Here's my Starlight impression, fucking stone face, pregnant. I'd heard the stories and I had seen the images and stuff, but I hadn't watched an episode of recent Starlight, watching her try to act and try to make her face move in the way that it needs to move in order to form certain words. And holy fuck, man, I was so saddened to watch it. You could tell how much she's struggling. There was times I actually did have to put subtitles on at a certain point because I was like, I can't make out what the fuck she's even saying.
Yeah, her lips are fucked.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And I know it's been covered before, so I don't want to labor the point or anything, but yeah, it was just a bit of a shock to actually see it in motion, as it were.
Or not in motion, as it were.
Yeah, I blame Leslie Ash for all of it. She had the trout pal back in the 2000s on the police show set in Merseyside. She looked great for the first season. When she came back, it was like her lips enveloped the whole TV screen. And you can tell the other cast members were trying to keep a straight face when acting opposite her. I thought, what is she doing?
The problem is, like, that was rare back then, and so it probably was
Yeah.
the object of like a bit of curiosity and maybe mockery. Now it's just the norm. It's everywhere in Hollywood, and I think people play that clip from Euphoria where it's Sydney Sweeney is acting opposite like a girl who's clearly had a shitload of Botox, and you can just see this instant difference in how their faces are able to move. Like Sydney Sweeney can emote; she can make her eyebrows move. There's like tiny little lines in her forehead when she like frowns or whatever, and the other girl just can't do it. And I don't know, man. It's like I get the insane pressure to look young and to to maintain that image, but when it interferes with your ability to actually emote as an actor, it's clearly got to be detrimental. Like there's no other way of looking at it. Then it is actually impinging on your career. Then.
And Nicole Kidman is fooling nobody. She looks like an eternal goddess, but sorry, Nicole, age and time will catch up with you, love. And don't say I didn't warn you.
It does, yeah. She's had work done, a lot of work. Yeah, there's a good question here as well. To the creator of The Boys, if you did hate Trump so much, why did you let him destroy your show? Sorry, Trump won. I mean, rent-free as it goes, That's the sad reality of it. Like, whether he intended it or whatever, like, yeah, he ultimately destroyed the show just by existing.
Do you like how, like, in that whole final battle, every time Homelander lasers anybody, they, like, fall over and brush themselves off? His lasers would cut through buildings.
I mean, they're all soups, so I guess there's enhanced.
No. Even Kimiko, he could chop in half. The lasers are the things that can melt through people's faces, even when they're soups, as long as he can focus enough. They're supposed to be very fucking threatening to the point where you move out of the way of them if you're a soup.
Right. Okay.
It's but like, again, like not only does he use it only for like a split second, it just does nothing, and it's always just like cool.
I did like this. Sorry, this was a slight deviation, but chat managed to bully Drinker into watching Mr. In Between. Yes, you did eventually. Let's get him to watch Banshee. Yeah, how many? I don't know how many seasons did that get.
It's four.
Actually?
4 seasons.
4 seasons. Okay.
And
so
Alan Ball is behind it. It was
each?
behind True Blood. So his name on it, it's going to be great.
And what is it? About an hour per episode?
Yes.
On average? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
By the way,
Drinker, you watched the first episode, you'll be hooked by the end of it. Trust me, you will be.
I agree. No, I
there's a running gag 100%. Every episode with people disrobing. It's just, it's great.
Like our Drinker was actively doing the math right there. Like, okay, how much of my life am I calculating out to do for this show?
Well, that's the thing, because like with Mr. In Between, it was easier because it's like the episodes are super short. They're like 25 minutes each or something, and there's not that many per season, like maybe 8 or 10. And so you can blast through that pretty quickly. But obviously, if it's an hour each, like it's a bit more of a commitment. But yeah, if it's good.
Drinker, did you watch season 4? You said that's the one you skipped, right?
Yes, I skipped it. Sorry.
So Butcher in that gets like mega cancer and he's about to die. But then the story is that he engages with the V to the point where he becomes like a Resident Evil monster with the tentacles and all that shit. And so the implication is basically he's kept alive by letting it overgrow him and he's become like a horrible monster, which again, there's pieces that you could put on theme for this that actually like have a story, but whatever. So him getting his powers blasted out of it, I just love that this season 5 is like, therefore removing the powers, therefore he's fine, instead of going back to having mega cancer. Like,
when the powers went, well, I mean, the powers like remove the cancer, and so once you remove them, like he's fine again.
Does that sound like a fucking he has?
It's The Boys. Like it doesn't have to make sense.
This is kind of what I'm getting at. Like everything's a cop out and fucking boring. The most intelligent thing they ever did was try to figure out how to kill Translucent. Every other thing in the show has just been
literally the first couple of episodes.
Exactly, and that's what I mean. I think people are still mad, but like the show implied that it would go to all these different places, but it's just been stupid indefinitely. Like because you remember the controversy for Tech Knight was that he was supposed to be Batman, and it's like, so what have they got for Batman? Like, well, he's just a sexual deviant.
Yeah, that's it.
Right. Anything else? And it's like, no.
Why do I feel like with these writers as well, like it's so 90% of the time it comes back to some kind of weird sexual degeneracy. Yeah. And I'm not trying to, well, in fact, I am going to suggest that, yeah, it's them projecting their own fucking weird fetishes and stuff onto the screen.
It's Seth Rogen, the same guy that's distanced himself from James Franco, but it's all right for Seth Rogen to still carry on with the PG-13/18 dick and tit jokes because it never gets old, folks.
It feels like all the writers on this, like it's every joke or every every character flaw or whatever seems to come back to that. And like I think in a limited number of cases it can absolutely work. Like this, what seems to be like this righteous, powerful, upstanding character is actually this like weird sexual deviant behind the scenes. Like, oh, you're fine. It's a road you can go down. But if you do it to basically everyone, it loses all its meaning because it just becomes this weird go-to thing that you just keep obsessing over. And when you obsess over something to that degree, you just have to wonder, like, okay, is this just you? Like, are you just putting what you want to see on screen so that like you can witness it? I don't know, but I don't know, man. There's all of that stuff just wore me out with this show.
How do you think it shakes out like a year from now? What is the boys remembered as, do you think?
Will it even be remembered?
I don't know.
It's going to be remembered.
It's going
to be remembered like Game of Thrones.
It's going to nothing gets remembered really.
It shit the bed and it failed to stick the landing. I think that's how people are going to remember it.
I mean, you'll go to a comic. Sorry, Drinker. Sorry.
And I'll say I will remember it as a show that started out with enormous promise that could have been something spectacular and just became kind of a wet fart with the possibility of sharting mixed in there. And it just became the showrunners' political obsessions rather than any kind of, viable art that it could have been.
Yeah, and you'll still go to a Comic-Con event later this year, whenever. You'll still see people cosplaying as Homelander and Billy Butcher, or in the latter's case, you can just grow a beard and look like Billy Butcher in a few months. And people will still worship them more than the other characters. And for me, personally, I'll watch seasons 3 to 4 just for Homelander because Anthony Starr is such a fantastic actor. And you're not supposed to like the villain, but I'm sorry, the villain is always more interesting than the hero in most cases.
They're usually more interesting, and I think they were helped immensely by the fact that they had a very talented and charismatic actor playing Homelander. And I think those two things matched together. You're going to like him, or maybe not like him, but you're going to find him interesting at least. And he was a lot more interesting than so many of the other characters.
Is anyone's favorite character Huey?
What is even to like there? He's a fucking pussy.
Yeah. There's not really any story there either.
Why did Billy Joel... Oh, sorry.
I was going to say as well, like one of the points where I just decided, no, I'm not coming back to this show was where he gets sexually assaulted and it gets played off as a joke.
Yeah.
I think that's where I just thought, no, fuck off. Like, fuck off, you.
That's the Tech Knight stuff. It's Tech Knight and Ashley that are doing the. That's the same episode too, I think, where Huey finds out that there was a shapeshifter pretending to be Starlight that was sleeping with him, and then she chews him out for that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like the show is so fucked. Eric Kripke's such a moron. Points
to Jack Quaid, I guess, for good sport duty and just taking all of this. I mean, I guess it's done enormous favors for his career, but damn, it's a lot to go through.
I'm just really surprised that Billy Joel signed off with Piano Man to be used in the series. I thought he would have been against maybe that type of show, but then again, I don't know Billy Joel.
Throw enough money at a person.
Yep.
You've got it.
Yeah, he's old. He's just like, whatever, just pay me.
Yeah, just leave me alone and give me some money. Gentlemen, I'm writing a book and I need your help to find a book to read that can help me write dialogue. I have other books to help with the other things. I just suck at dialogue. Videos help. Tired of things being lame and gay. What's okay? I mean, the one I kept getting referenced was Stephen King's On Writing, which apparently is quite useful. So maybe give that a shot.
Yeah,
even though Stephen King's a bit of a douchebag.
He is, but he's a very well-selling douchebag, so he must be doing something right. I just think I've never been a huge one for reading books on writing, but if you know something that you recognize the dialogue is great in, read that and try and sort of figure out why it is that you like the dialogue that you're reading, or same thing with movies, why it is that you're liking the dialogue that you're hearing. What is it about the rhythm of speech, the use of words, how characters are represented in the words that they choose to use? Just consume lots and lots and lots of very good media, and some of it's bound to rub off.
I'm wondering if the question was like how to make the sounds, the sentences sound less robotic, like actually a person, or if it was more along the lines of not having the characters all sound the same. I wish that would have been more of a clarification there.
I mean, in terms of like naturalistic dialogue, okay, it's the most obvious thing ever, but just say it out loud. And if it sounds weird and cringe or whatever, then yep, you need to work on it. Because if you can't say it convincingly, then no one else can.
And you can always get somebody to bounce it off of, like, hey, does this sound like, what does this sound like? You know, you don't. But if it's the other question, how to make people sound less the same, which is probably the hardest thing in writing because you're speaking from your own, you know, that's a little bit more difficult to do.
Yeah, I love the duality of man that I'm witnessing here in chat when we talked about Billy Joel there. First up, Billy Joel is a dick who loves money, but then also Billy Joel is in bad shape. He has no idea what's going on.
Why are you saying Billy Joel?
That's how I always said it. Always, I've always pronounced it.
That there's actually what the hell's the comedian's name? I can't remember. There was a comedian had a joke about how people from, I think he was in either Scotland or Ireland. That's how they pronounced it. And he was like, "That's not how it's pronounced." Even he pronounces it not like that.
Yeah, I get it. I don't know. I've always said it that way.
Billy Joel.
No idea who's Kryptonian.
Yeah.
Jor-El.
Yeah, Jor-El. Neo, son of Joel. But yeah, I don't know. I guess like people were saying there, like you throw enough money at someone, they're gonna like license their music. Whether he even like has a say in it, I don't know.
Well, he used to do concerts like all the time at Madison Square Garden. It was like every week he had a concert, and he gave that up recently. So my guess is that he's physically not doing so. Like maybe not dying of cancer or something. I don't know exactly, but he's probably just.
Hold on.
Got to be in his late 70s now.
Yeah, I mean the reason why I brought his name up because Bad Lieutenant with Harvey Keitel. There's a big
Jim Gaffigan. Somebody said it in the chat.
77. Hey? Yeah.
Oh.
Apparently he has dementia.
Oh, really? Or that pneumonia he took in the 70s.
Yeah, either dementia or some sort of neurological disorder. Okay. Yeah, that might explain why he just signed off on it.
Yeah. Or it'll be an estate now that manages him, I guess. Yeah, I only watched season 1 and 2 of The Boys. Seems I should not see the rest. On another note, I enjoy your takes, good and bad, on movies. Also nice to see Darkhour and Platoon back again. You rock. Thank you, my friend. You rock, in fact. But you know what doesn't rock? The Mango and Grok. And I didn't even intend for that to rhyme, but here we are. So I watched it today, and my theater was good enough to play it at 1.25 speed. And I still found myself checking my watch when I was watching this. So to put it into context, this is the first theatrically released Star Wars movie in, 7 years? So it's been 2019 when we got our last one with Rise of Skywalker. 7 years is a long time, and Star Wars has not been through, well, it's not exactly gone from strength to strength since then. So I guess they needed to come back big with this. They needed to make a splash. They needed to really, announce that they have returned and Star Wars is back, baby. And this movie, man, I don't think I've felt less invested in something since the last time I used Microsoft Excel. It was absolutely... It was a movie that managed to do absolutely nothing, right? It was basically 2 episodes. It was a 2-episode special of the Mandalorian TV show, just sandwiched together. That's all it was. And man, everything that like Chris Gore said when he saw like the first 25 minutes, that's just projected over the entire movie. I came away from this feeling nothing whatsoever. Just, I'm glad I got through it in time for open bar. That was it. If I'd paid to go and see this at the cinema, I did, obviously, but I would feel pretty fucking shortchanged. What did you guys think?
But it's not just 2 or maybe 3 episodes of a TV show. It's like the middle 3 episodes. It's the filler 3 episodes. It's not even the bit that gets to the point. There's no Moff Gideon making Force clones or whatever the fuck it was in Mando season 3. It's not leading anywhere. It's just like almost like a day in the life shot of the Mandalorian, which is it's almost what people like to think about season 1 to begin with. The writing was never great, and it never had a massive sense of purpose. But it was a show that took a lot of joy in sort of just being in the world it was in. It wasn't adding much to that world, but when you come off the back of Last Jedi, Solo, Rise of Skywalker, having something that didn't obviously hate itself was nice. It was a bit refreshing, and it reminded people that this galaxy has a huge amount of life in it. Look, it's all over the screen. It's in every single frame. You get all those cameos. You get all those creatures walking past. That's all nice enough to see because it sort of dimly reminds you of all the toys that you used to buy. And that was good for a season. And then when Mando tries to get itself a story is when things start going particularly wrong. It has never been good on the character front, but the story is nonsensical by the time you get to season 3. This sort of just reverts back to season 1. It's just like, aren't you just happy to be here again? No.
This never should have been released theatrically. This should have gone out on Disney Plus. It should have just been a special or something. That's all.
I agree with Platoon, by the way, that it did feel very like you just kind of got plopped into the middle of a storyline. And when I was watching it, I was like, it felt that there was this weirdness that it's like you didn't need to be super familiar with anything up to this point because I don't remember shit about Mandalorian season 3 or anything. And I was like, okay, all this is making sense, but it felt hollow and empty. The one good thing I could say about it is it wasn't a woke piece of shit. It was just a regular piece of shit. That was basically the scenario. It was just a bunch of fetch quests. That's the best way to put it. It was, hey, you need to go here and do a thing. You need to go here and do a thing. And they would try to connect it with action sequences that some of them were okay. You know, some of them were like, you know, if you isolate them. But it was almost as if they didn't realize that less was more. And the older Star Wars films had those action sequences between the longer parts that were kind of fetch questy. But it wasn't like, okay, go here, big long fight sequence, I'm here now. And that's what it was. It just felt like shitty dominoes falling over and over.
Yeah, the problem is there's no emotional investment to tie together those action sequences. And so you essentially just have a bunch of NPCs spouting generic dialogue at each other to move the quest forward to the next objective. And the setup for the plot is about as simple as you can get. It's like that episode in season 1 of The Mandalorian where he has some of his parts stolen from his ship, and in order to get them back he has to go on a quest to kill a monster, and then the Jawas will give him the parts back in order to like get the Razor Crest up and running, and off he goes. So in this one it's like I should just, for the benefit of the people in chat, I'll give you the most basic rundown of the plot. Mando is now working once again as a bounty hunter. He's working for the New Republic to hunt down former Imperial commanders that he can then bring to justice. And so he's after the next one, but nobody quite knows where he is or even what he looks like. He's got a deck of cards, basically. It's exactly like what America did when they invaded Iraq, and they had their deck of cards with all the top Iraqi commanders. And so they're doing this now. So he's after the next one. Nobody knows exactly what this guy looks like or whatever, but there's two like Hutts, like members of the Hutt clan, crime syndicate, whatever you want to call it, who apparently do know who this guy is and where they can find him, but they're only going to help if they can get their son back, or he's been kidnapped by someone else. And so it's literally that 3-step process, like Darkhour said. Go rescue the son that's been kidnapped, bring him back to them. They'll give you the location of this rebel commander, or former Imperial commander, which then he can go and capture. That's the basic setup for the story, but obviously things go wrong along the way, and it's the most basic bitch setup for a movie you could get. And it's so strange because I so expected with this movie that it was going to be something bigger, and I don't know if I necessarily wanted it to be, but I feel like it kind of needed to be. It needed to tie together some stuff from the TV show. It needed to tie Mando into a bigger universe, because we're not in a TV show anymore. It's a movie. It has to mean something in the Star Wars universe, and this means nothing. Absolutely nothing.
A couple of people in the chat asked this question, and they mentioned that it's like the Star Wars, the Clone Wars film. It's actually more like that than you realize. It's the same Hutt. It's Rhoda the Hutt. It's the same one from that pilot movie. They even show a picture, like the hologram that pops up is him from the Clone Wars movie. Then he turns out to be like a roided out Incredible Hulk knockoff.
So yeah, he's a bulky Hut. You're right. So he's weightlifting and stuff. And like he's now fighting. Like he's been captured and he's now used in like fighting pit tournaments. And he's on his last fight, right? And so he believes that he's going to get released after he completes his final fight. His contract or his bounty is going to be paid off, and he can go his own way. And he doesn't want to go back to his family because he wants to escape from that life. He wants to.
And they want him dead because he's the son of Jabba the Hutt. So they want to kidnap him in order that they can kill him because the son of Jabba the Hutt is a threat to them. I loved the way that he exposits all of this for us at least 3 times in dialogue, as though it's the first time each time. It's so like this is why I'm here. This is what I think. This is what I think about the place that I'm in. And this is what it means. And 5 minutes later, they reacquaint themselves and it's like, this is why I'm here. This is what I think about it. This is what I hope to get. It's like, we've had this conversation. Why do you have nothing to say? It's a 2.5-hour movie. How are we repeating dialogue every scene?
It was more like an hour and 45 minutes in my case, but yeah.
When finding out that they were even making this movie, right? The first assumption I would have is like, okay, so they'll probably have Ahsoka, they'll probably have a couple of like Luke.
Yeah, they're going to tie together the shitty like Filoni universe or something.
If we've got an Empire remnant, we'll probably have a big old Star War at the end with a bunch of stormtroopers and TIE fighters and a capital ship of some kind, and this ancient fucking maybe Charles Dance will play some Empire leader that they didn't get from before, and all you'll have is one scene where he says, "Kill them." And then he gets shot and blown up or something. And of course, the end will be like, there's a greater threat, Thrawn. And then it'll be like, tune in next time to see Mando and team go against Thrawn. No, and I say this lovingly. Chat, you remember the Book of Boba Fett. Everyone does. Great show. The villain of Mando and Grogu, the movie, the next movie in the Star Wars saga, is the 2 Hutts in one of those episodes of that show. They are the final boss.
The moment MauLer mentioned like Book of Boba Fett, Darkhour just took a fucking shot of tequila.
That was not intentional.
It's like, fuck it, it's my only way out. Oh.
And there isn't any real major key jangling. There's a bit or whatever, but nowhere near what I would have expected them to do. And honestly, as a person who's invested in good storytelling, I'm just like, lol. But then if I were on like the board or the pencil pushing sort of fucking bean counting people, I'd be like, what are you doing? This movie's not going to make any money.
This is the weird thing where it's almost like I would advocate almost for key jangling in this case, because if you can get rid of key jangling and we're not going to have any callbacks really to previous events or the movies or anything like that, but you've got to replace that with something. And it doesn't. There's literally nothing to fill that void. This is just a nothing burger of a movie. It is astounding how little soul there is to this, and how little meaning there is to it.
But there was actually some really stupid key jangling. So when they do announce that his next fight is his last, and then he's gonna die. It's a Dejarik fight, which is the name of the board game from the Millennium Falcon. You remember the chess?
And even have the set
if you look, all of the creatures were from the board game, and some of them did the same exact motions of picking up and throwing. And all that. So it was.
But that's the sort of like the totally irrelevant key jangling in a sense. It's like, remember this thing? It's that. It's not story key jangling. It's not
Luke
like
Skywalker. You know.
No. And it's not any kind of like setup key jangling. It's
not
like,
want it.
No.
There's also no characters in this movie, right? The Hutts are nothing. They're just like a nothing, but they're just like generic evil guys who just want to like take over the crime syndicate. Mando has no personality whatsoever. That's his like almost defining trait. Grogu has nothing because he's just a stupid baby that can't talk. Sigourney Weaver don't give a fuck in this movie.
Jesus Christ,
she barely got out of her chair for half of the scenes.
And so, like, what is left? There's like another bounty hunter who's like a kind of boss character for Mando to fight. No personality, don't know anything about him. Just he's just there. He's just a guy who he fights.
You know, he's like friend who he meets up with in the prologue, who's from Clone Wars show. I forget the name of the guy. It begins with Zed. It's something like Zed
Carillius or something, isn't it?
Whatever. I have a feeling that if I showed this film to like, I don't know, it's my sister or something, she'd probably be like, "Oh, is he from the Mando show?" I'd be like, "No." I'd be like, "What? Where's he from?" It's like, different show.
Oh yeah, here we go. Babu Frick got any personality? Not really. Just annoying.
But they're all the same creature.
That,
they all have the same personality. I can't believe there's the whole fucking Team America episode in this. It's just like, let's have puppets, bad puppets at that, just go on an adventure. I'm sitting there watching this and is this Star Wars? What am I actually watching here? Why am I watching the animatronic puppets just climb up cliffs and do random crazy shit? And by the way, having like their thing is because Mando gets captured because he's an idiot. And their plan is to go rescue him. So they all get in a ship that he can't fit in. And then they land. And then they rescue him. And then he looks at the ship. And he can't fit in.
There's literally a moment where they're all walking back to the ship. And like Mando looks at it. And he's like, that ship is smaller than my entire body. Like, it's so dumb. Yeah, so for the benefit of people in chat, this is essentially 2 episodes of Mandalorian sandwiched together, right? So episode 1, he has to go and rescue... is it Rada? Is that his name?
Rota.
Yeah, and so like he does the pit fighting thing with him, and then they break out. He gets him back, and then he goes his own way, and then Mando just heads off with Grogu after collecting his payment. He's got a new Razor Crest, by the way. It's just like functionally identical to the old one because they just want that shit back, basically. But anyway, goes off. He's just chilling with him. Then he gets captured by evil bounty hunter guy and brought back to the other huts for punishment. And that's when Baby Yoda then has to go on a rescue mission to save him. And it's as retarded as you might imagine, because as Platoon said, you've got a bunch of animatronic puppets working together. And it's nice that they try to use practical effects for this, but they probably shouldn't have because it looks so shit.
I've been tired of them running on the excuse that it's practical so it can be shit. It's really annoying. Practical, just like CG, can be good, great, terrible, or okay. It can be all of it.
They seem to have like almost memed into existence that Star Wars puppetry and Star Wars animatronics in the OT were always like janky and goofy looking. Like Baby Yoda being obviously a puppet is used as a joke several times across the Mando show and pretty much several times across this movie as well. You go back and watch something like Return of the Jedi, that's not ever what it was. Like, one of the things that really stands out about the OT Star Wars in particular is how very, very good the puppetry is. You don't look at Yoda and think he looks janky. You look at Yoda and you sort of forget he's a puppet because it's all really, really well done. Whereas like since then, it's all been like, that quirky old thing with the obvious puppets. Let's just do that. That's never what people liked about it.
I think the cardinal sin that you, I think, showed MauLer would like it's the bit where they drop Baby Yoda onto the ground and he runs off, and it's just like the most shitty looking.
It's like a broken remote control car.
It's like they put him and glued him onto the top of a radio controlled car and just sent it off. And he's
even better.
Little legs
speed.
It's sad, but like this whole movie.
Hey, chat, you ever wanted to see Jabba the Hutt in a car chase?
Oh, God.
That's in this film. There's so many things that happen in this film that I think all of us are just like...
not kidding.
Jesus.
My favorite thing,
because Rota can speak English as well. We should probably mention that. Like, we're used to the
they all can, actually.
Like, yeah, they can if they choose to, but he does it a lot. And it's like... It's everything that I would never have wanted to see.
I've never looked at the Hutts, right? Seeing and hearing Jabba, I love his voice in Return of the Jedi, and then being like, "Oh, this is a relative of his." And it's very alien and sort of intimidating. Rota's is like, "Hey, Mando, yeah, man, how you doing? You know, we got to get out of here, dude." Like, oh shit!
Like I said
it's really difficult when your dad's Jabba the Hutt, and like, you got to like get out from under his shadow. It's
like I said backstage, it's Jeremy Allen White. It just sounds like you took Lip from Shameless and made him into a Hutt. That's exactly what it sounds like in every interaction.
And it's not just him. All the line reading is like this. It's like they are all reading the script for the first time. He's a particularly bad example because he is a CGI creature, and so you've got basically nothing else to latch onto but the vocal performance. But then compare it to Sigourney Weaver, who I don't think I've ever seen less bothered about the movie she's in. Like she
barely in it.
I know.
She has like 3 minutes.
I am 100% like convinced that like she took the paycheck. Didn't read the script, didn't know what her character was. She just showed up on the day. It's like, all right, what the fuck do you need me to say? Like, okay, just stand in this big green room, okay, and just say these lines. Like, go with whatever tone you want. It doesn't matter.
I saw a video on Twitter where she's in some interview and they're like, "Oh, you big fan of like Mando, Mandalorian, and Grogu, or just Mandalorian show?" And she was like, "When John called me, I didn't know what it was. then I was like, oh, I'll watch that, and oh, I loved it. I couldn't stop watching it." She says it. I was just like, "Oh."
Somebody in the chat just asked about Martin Scorsese's acting. I don't understand why, but for some reason he runs a space halal cart. I don't really.
I know
understand why. Well, okay, why?
Because he's the same species that Jon Favreau was in Solo, and the meme is that like he's a chef because fucking Jon Favreau is the movie chef. I know that he's talked about this in some interview at some point. But like, if you're a director and you're doing a special animated character role, I guess you got to be that species now. This starting a trend.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that was kind of my question. Was like, of all the things for them to be like, "Hey, Martin Scorsese, would you like some lines?" And they put him in that role.
Well, that's the thing. Weird. I thought it was meta because like, the premise of his character in this movie is if you pay him enough money, he'll say what you want him to say.
I suppose that's all of them, isn't it?
Well, first
also,
of all,
I mean, speaking of directors and producers that were in it, Dave Filoni was in the movie too. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
He still had his stupid ass hat on too. That was
the Geriatric X-Wing Society. So that was another slightly strange thing. Is that you look at Sigourney Weaver clearly not giving a fuck, and she's getting on. She's in her 70s, and then you think, well, okay, at least you were only in it briefly, and I don't care, and you didn't care either. And then at the end, when the X-Wings lead an attack on Nal Hutta, which planet design terrible. Every X-Wing pilot's like in their 60s, including her. She's flying an X-Wing.
Well, yeah, because it's all people like, oh, don't you remember this guy from this previous movie? They're back. Like,
what happened to the New Republic's military recruitment if they've already got pensioners to fly their fucking X-Wings for them?
I think that kind of explains why the New Republic's so fucking awful. Gary, we were just talking about Mango and Grok movie.
I just finished it. I don't even know how to review this, dude.
No,
like how it's
there's nothing to review. Nothing happens.
No, it's three. MauLer said it best. It's 3 filler episodes of a filler movie. I guess we have a filler movie, so MauLer said that's pretty unique. I think that's a unique thing.
What comes to your mind when you say filler movie? Right? It's like, is this the first one, or am I missing something?
No,
filler
this might be the first one. It might be. Well, no, it might be the first one. I mean, you could call Solo a filler movie, but no, you know what? They call it a kid's movie. You know what every kid wants to see, guys? A 76-year-old woman pilot an X-Wing. That's totally not a Kathleen Kennedy insert. You know, that's what kids around. Come on, Dad.
We were just talking like, I hope the paycheck for Sigourney Weaver was good for this one, because she did not give a fuck at any moment throughout this movie.
Well, dude, sorry, we need to talk about Pedro Pascal's in this film. He shot for 1 day, I assume.
Yeah, it was his stuntman for the rest of it, and he just recorded his lines in a sound
Why did the Huts give him Why did the Huts give him his helmet if they wanted him to die?
So he could put it back on, and then you just let the stuntman take over. It's like Pedro's like tired these days, man. He can't do this kind of work.
Everyone who ever captures this motherfucker leaves the armor on.
But we want to kill him somehow. And maybe this is just a technicality. And I asked you guys when I was watching this, I'm like, what kind of a Hut says I'm my own man?
Mm-hmm. A Hut written by Dave Filoni.
I mean, when you say I'm my own Hut,
I think my favorite thing.
As far as I'm concerned, you have to say Favloni. This is a Favloni product.
It is.
Did you guys see when what Favreau said, where he was like, I don't even know why this was made? And it's like, you're the director and the writer.
Neither do we.
That man's soul has been sucked right out, and he's just a husk at this point. It's like, I'll make this movie. Just give me a paycheck. It's like, there's nothing. Like, that's the thing. Like, we were talking about this, and I think you touched upon it there as well. Like, how do you even review it when it's got nothing? It's a movie that's 2 hours of absolute soulless nothing. It's like if AI could have probably done a better job, like rustling you up a Star Wars movie at this point. And we were all just quietly shocked that there was not even callbacks to the movies or really even the TV show or the characters or anything from that. There's no guest appearances. Bo-Katan's not there. Like nobody from the show is in it. Luke Skywalker's not in it. None of the characters from the OT or anything are there, like de-aged with all their soulless CGI nonsense. They didn't even try that. Like they just did nothing. It's like this movie operates on the premise of like, well, if you do nothing, then you can't do anything wrong. Like,
it does feel that way. Maybe that is the conclusion to reach here, that they were so terrified by every single decision failing in every way, shape, and form for, pilfering the prequels, the OT, and just subverting and deconstructing all this shit. It's like, so what do we do? It's like, make a filler episode of Mandalorian a full movie and don't touch anything. Just have him kill people and blow stuff up, and that's the end.
It feels obligatory, right? There's not that many humans in it. Like, it tries to be a Tartakovsky cartoon for a while. There's just a bunch of creatures, and there's a nice black alien in the swamp who helps little baby Yoda, with some fish, and like it's so freaking random that it was hard to like. It is so boring. I don't know. Again, they're gonna bring up kids movie. Like, why do you hate your children? Why would you want to bore them like this?
What would you even say to your kids? Because like at this point, say it was a young kid that's going to watch for like the baby Yoda and stuff. They wouldn't even really know much about Star Wars necessarily. And even if they did, like there's nothing in this that's going to make them think of Star Wars.
That's like, the thing. Star Wars is almost uniquely. It's not a kid's franchise. I know George Lucas has said some dumb things about like, oh, it's made for 12-year-old boys. You didn't make the original one for 12-year-old boys. Stop lying to us. I know you made lots of money from 12-year-old boys because they all bought the toys, but that was never what the story was. Kind of uniquely intergenerational storytelling. I think pretty much everyone here, I imagine, got into it because the dad showed them it, and the dads liked it when if they were old enough, they saw it when it first came out when they were not kids. If you don't have that kind of family tie anymore, which Star Wars doesn't really, sort of does, but only for the really old stuff, then kids might enjoy the creatures, I guess, but they're not going to get anything broad. There's nothing about this movie that's going to stick in a child's mind and saying this is synonymous with Star Wars. That's not going to happen in the way that it used to with the OT. And it makes it very difficult for a film like this. If this film were coming out in the context of a really strong mainline Star Wars cinematic run, if there was a main trilogy going on, if the story was leading somewhere, I think maybe people will be looking at this a little bit more fondly, because it's like, okay, this doesn't really matter, but I'm inhabiting a galaxy and I'm enjoying where the overall story is going. But when this is the only thing on offer, then you're kind of fucked. There's nothing for anyone. Your kids will get maybe 2 hours of boredom alleviator out of it, and that's it.
A 7-year gap, dude. 7 fucking years, and they want people to return for this?
There's no selling point to this movie.
You're like, instead of stupid, I'd be like, you guys are psychotic. What the fuck are you doing?
This is somehow both written in second screen and ADHD style, because you can look away for a long period of time and then you hear a lot of noise because it gets really loud at certain points, and then you look up and that's when the action sequences are happening. So it's clear. I think it might actually some the younger kids nowadays. It may actually do that.
There's a very long sequence where Mando gets severely injured and Baby Yoda drags him into like a little hut that he's constructed, and it's just this long sort of montage of him trying to care for him and look after him and stuff. I went off and took a dump and came back, and like it was still going. And nothing had progressed during that time. This movie it's filler, as MauLer said. Like this is like not just like the entire concept of the movie is filler, but there is massive quantities of filler within the filler, where it's just, well, we've got to eat up some screen time. What can we do? Yoda's just looking after him.
Steal a fish.
You don't need to watch the action scenes. Once it starts, you hear the noise in the background, just ignore it. And when you get back, things will be resolved. And then you get your little, setup for the next action scene, but they're pointless. They're absolutely, like the entire movie's pointless.
Arguably counterproductive, because if you begin your movie and the Mandalorian takes out an entire base of Imperial Remnant, 4 AT-ATs, and like the list goes on, and then you remember, oh yeah, he's invincible. So why am I going to invade? And that's the first action scene as well. Like there's no overarching threat introduced until almost the 90-minute mark, I want to say, which was where like if this were a TV show, that would be the episode transition to like episode 6 of 8. That might be where it starts. But until then, it's just that he's going through beating the shit out of everyone. So you can just switch off. But then when it does want you to take an action scene seriously later on, you can't, because you already remember how this is written. And like he's not going to lose. He can't die. So why should I care?
I have a question. Why would you put walkers on a mountain? That seems like the worst place to put them.
Well, why
they're in the one place,
especially on the cliff?
Yeah.
Well, the cliff's edge. Yeah, it's the worst place for them to be.
Bad terrain. I mean, I know they say they're all terrain, but it's like they're not all.
I did
terrain.
Establish like if they can climb it or something, like do something. But they're just rickety old things. You could just, you know.
Well, for the benefit of the chat, like his plan is that Mando goes into this base to get this Imperial guy. The Imperial guy runs away, goes down an elevator into an AT-AT, across a mountain into a ship in the AT-AT, and then tries to fly away.
It is the funniest Dr. Evil level nonsense, like escape plan. And then, of course,
also
I
it
love
was
the
a
fact,
giant penis rocket to fly out of, and it would have been fun.
Yes, that would have
Yeah.
been right. Dude, I
Oh my
love
god,
the
that
return
looks
of,
like her.
he launches out of the AT-AT, of course, and so if you'd gone any other direction, he would have been fine. He goes the perfect direction for Mando to shoot him down. But the thing I was noticing, I was like, oh, dude, the DNA of the sequels is still here. He could have flown up. If you'd just gone up, he would have been fine. But he didn't know where up was.
Well, I think
And
we've
it's like the era of
established.
the Empire.
I think we've established it's the some terrain armored transport, so it's an ST-AT. Okay.
There was
But yeah, it's like all those like self-destruct thermal detonators on board were like they were timed just long enough to allow Mando to shoot at the transport as it's flying away, and then they blow up. It's like, oh wow, that was convenient timing, wasn't it?
There was also
I never understand fucking that stupid gremlin. It's like, oh god, we got to get out of here. Look at the explosives. Like, use the force and throw them all out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't understand why you're taking a child into battle all the time.
Because he's got plot armor.
Well, I agree with Ryan. I think he's retarded. I think he should be talking right now, and he's got a speech impediment or something. Something's going on with him. Okay, he ain't all there.
Gina's fight was longer than Pedro's time on screen.
How is
gets
it
more than
possible that
17
everyone
seconds, to be
involved
fair.
with that lawsuit lost this week?
It was a fix.
It wasn't a fix.
I mean, it was not a great fight. It wasn't a great fight.
It was
but,
not a fix. That was
Pedro
what was
Pascal
gonna
is on
happen.
screen for at least 2 minutes. Absolutely
Drinker-
phones it in just like
I feel like
Sigourney
he's
Weaver.
fleeced Disney. Like, what a setup, dude. The amount of money he's probably making. This will happen between season 2 and 3 of Mando, by the way. It's what damaged the shit out of all the storylines. Is he basically threatened to leave? I'm certain of this at this point. And then they were like, dude, please stay. And the major amount that we're paying you for now is more the marketing than it is the acting.
Why anybody can go? Wait, I can do it.
I'm the Mandalorian.
Yes.
I can talk like this for 2 hours.
Give me a fucking sandwich. I'll do it. No, I wouldn't work for Disney.
And he had the
nothing-
goal
yeah,
in
there's
an
nothing about
interview to
Pedro
say,
that
I'll
makes you
carry
think-
on making these movies as long as my body could do it. It's like, your body's not in the movie. What are you talking about?
So
Drinker,
it's funny. So they
I'm going
went
to
through
go
that-
to the theater tomorrow, the same theater you went to watch Mandalorian. Also, Darkhour, it's not Dave Filoni, it's, as I like to call him, Gave Phil My Holy, because you always get the effeminate man to talk about the butchest movies ever. And also something that Platoon said when he described the first season of The Mandalorian. It was a very good first season, mostly, but then there was another show from the 2000s called Lost, which also had a very good first season, and then it fell off the map. So Jon Favreau, who has directed this film, was the coolest kid on the block with MySpace. Remember that from 2007? Everybody tried to be his friend on MySpace, and when I tried, got thrown off. So when you see him now eating all the donuts, well, what more can you say? The guy doesn't care anymore.
The problem with Jon Favreau is like he's had these incredible successes with things like Iron Man and like got the Mandalorian going and stuff. He either is a good company man and he just allows himself to get railroaded by the studios into making things he doesn't want to make, or just like they get taken over, or maybe he's just not the creative force that he once was.
Maybe not. Or I think of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Remember Good Will Hunting 2? And Gus Van Sant is just, they're asking about a scene and he's like, counting. I'm counting, Ben. And he's just sitting there counting money. That's how I imagine Favreau right now.
Well, Favreau only really has like one or two solid.
Oh no, we're gonna start that. Was he ever really that good?
Well, no, I mean it's not like
Swingers is awesome. Iron Man was awesome.
Not like it's not like he was
awesome.
the greatest. It's not. I don't think he sold his soul or anything like
I don't
that.
think anyone said he was the greatest. Darkhour. Just talking about how he made movies that were good.
What I'm trying to say is, I don't think he really lost too much.
I think he's lost his fastball or his desire. And listen, it's not easy to make movies, and if you got like Disney just willing to give you anything, All right,
man. Like, yeah, sure, but I don't know. I just feel like even if they do, can you pull someone out of your ass? Jesus.
I think this was it, MauLer.
Well, then, yeah, that's over for him, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, because you then have to ask yourself, well, okay, where's this going to end up box office wise?
Oh,
Right?
bad.
Because, yeah, I mean, this
is
really
boring.
bad.
It is really boring. There's no hook. Even the cute baby Yoda moments, there's not enough of them, and they annoy me.
The anticipation
it's just a waste of time.
The anticipation was through the floor already. And if the word of
Through the
mouth
floor.
is terrible, which it's going to be, because like there is nothing to even get excited about having seen it. I don't know. Like, could this be like a Marvel's level of disaster where it makes like 250 million and then it's done?
God,
Because I
hope
just
so.
can't see how anyone's going to get excited for this.
Nothing changes until you hit bottom, drinker. And I don't think it would
Still
change
working on
anyway.
that.
But like, listen, well, you keep going, buddy. It's all right. There's always a seat open. I'm willing to take it to any meeting whenever you want. But as far as Lucasfilm is concerned, they've been able to, we've all said it, they've been able to hide their failures and their diminishing returns behind the streaming numbers. They can't hide this. So this will be, if it does flop, it will have the impact that the Marvels did have, which did force Marvel to change badly, but they are trying to change. I think it's too late. And as we've all said, the only way you can help Lucasfilm right now is completely gut it. Like, everybody has to go down to catering, keep the janitor. I guess he's okay, but that's about it.
Catering as well. I'm sure they make good food.
They probably do. They probably
I
do.
would think the on-site catering is probably more than most movies get spent on them. But
Dave Filoni gets his cameo.
Yeah, I hope that made him feel good.
We were talking. Give some respect. His name is Trapper Wolf. It's the coolest character name ever.
It is actually fascinating how few characters are in this. How small it is. Like, because I know, like, they might necessarily be getting back to, or they're trying to recapture that spirit of season 1 of Mandalorian, where it was just a little self-contained stories, like the kind of Wild West in space, and so there doesn't have to be many characters. But this is a theatrical movie. It's a theatrical Star Wars movie that is the first one you've brought out in 7 years. This had to be something big. This is not a time to go small and make a little self-contained, nothing kind of story.
Hey, they had a Clone Wars bounty hunter in it, right? Clone Wars, Embo, whatever. I thought it was Cad Bane. I'm like, oh no, it's not Cad Bane.
Bilbo.
What happened to Janu Coin, the Imperial?
They got him in jail now.
They got him in jail, and it's all good.
He rolled over, so he's probably not in jail. He actually.
So, how many of you guessed that he was the guy they were essentially looking for?
100% right off
like
the bat.
the minute you saw him, you're like, oh, that's going to be the guy.
Well, the minute the actor killed the other guy.
Like, okay, yeah.
So I don't know. Like, the first thing you would have thought is like the Mando Grogu movie is like, who's the bad guy going to be? It's like, I figured Gus Fring, right? Because he was the bad guy in all seasons of the Mandalorian. Yep. And don't start telling me he's dead. He died like 1,000,000 times. No one cares. He's got clones.
No one's truly gone, MauLer.
He was re-implemented as the CEO of Vought. MauLer was a little busy.
Oh yeah, used perfectly in that show too. You know, just utilizing him all the time. But I would have thought they would drag him back, make him put him in a fucking Star Destroyer. They've managed to cobble together Death Star technology. Mando's the only one that can stop him with the help of Luke Skywalker. You'd think that's what they would do, right? It was like, nope. Okay, well then no one's gonna give a fuck.
No, huts. Because they're so aesthetically pleasing to the eyes. Giant slugs running around.
You also did you think you'd be getting a hut boss fight? Did you imagine in your wildest dreams you're gonna be? Jon Favreau said, thanks to technology that we have now, we can do things that they were never capable of in like the 70s and the 80s. We can have Jabba rolling around and punching people.
Yeah, they have Baby Yoda moving around like somebody's got him on a fishing pole. You know?
I'm blown away by it. Like they think with their CG that they're outclassing even the beginning of Return of the Jedi. Like, no.
So so earlier when Drinker mentioned how convoluted getting the one member of the Imperials was, and then they do Janu. They have him show up and they go to his compound, and it's going to be so hard for us to get him. It's he's got so many guards, and then they cut the scene, and he's just outside of his door. I'm just here. We didn't show any of the fight, and you're coming with me. And then they cut again, and he's just he's taking him out the door. I was like, why even
George
set
Lucas
up for...
feels like Stan Lee to me because he passes the baton to Dave Filoni of Star Wars. Dave Filoni is Bob Iger in disguise. In other words, he betrayed the legacy. When Stan Lee passed away, Marvel couldn't wait for that, so they can go in and bastardize his legacy of characters that he gave to us before. So now they're trying to pay for it by giving us Avengers Doomsday, and yeah, I don't care.
They were going in how it's Doomsday. I think that's the problem. It might be more forgivable if Star Wars was leading toward a Doomsday style event, but it's not. Star Wars has nothing. Starfighter is the next thing on their docket. I don't believe they've got any not announced plans for future movies beyond that point. I suspect that will be a better movie than this. It might have some semblance of a story to it, but it's still. I mean, it looks like it's like a franchise that's always lived on a small TV network, and it's trying its first big adventure onto the big screen. Will it work? It's Star Wars. How are we in this position?
I mean, like if there's one kind of overriding sense that you get from what Star Wars was, it was epic. It was space opera. And it was like this conflict on the most grandest scale imaginable played out across the big screen. And what is this? It is 2 episodes of a TV show sandwiched together.
We discussed it too. They didn't really project the Star Wars name for marketing on this. Not
as much
as
credits in the beginning, and I can't remember Rogue One. I don't care, but it's got credits in the beginning. I hate that for a Star Wars thing. But I have a question for you guys.
Yes.
If this was dropped on Disney Plus, would you review it?
Probably. I mean, it's Star Wars, but
if it was a movie drop,
it was a movie drop on Disney Plus.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
probably.
I think it's just because it's something.
I'd be 50-50 at this point.
I mean, I did say early on, this felt like from a financial point of view, it probably would have been more at home on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
This should have just been a Disney Plus Mandalorian special, because like the theatrical prospects for this are non-existent. No one's going to care.
They probably shouldn't have been made to begin with. So Favreau has said that all the scripts for Mando season 4 were written. He had finished them. And like he sort of said about this movie, there might be 1 or 2 things that, tie into Ahsoka season 2. There's nothing. Mando season 4, the scripts apparently were supposed to all tie in because there's that plan for that big sort of Mandoverse movie to wrap all of these storylines up, and season 4 was supposed to contribute to that. So then, of course, you might get Thrawn in there, you might get a few more like obvious tie-ins, you might get more characters crossing over, and it's like, I'm sure that would have been terrible because I've seen everything else they've made, but at least it would be going somewhere. At least like there would be a reason sort of to see it if you have any interest at all in where the Ahsoka Mandoverse is going. But like all of those references seem either to have never made it into the script or to have been cut out. It deliberately makes itself pointless, even though we've had it confirmed that the stuff with a point has already been written, but they shelved it in favor of this.
I mean, at least Thrawn is a bad guy that like people vaguely know. You know, some of that really struck me, right? You rewind far back enough in this insane era we're in. You have Han Solo saying, "I like this guy," to Finn. I've referenced this a couple of times, and I thought this little track is fascinating. He's like a major legacy character that is important to all of fiction. He's huge. He's like a statue of a fucking character in fiction. And then you move forward a bit, and you have Thor saying it to Captain Marvel. And I'm not gonna like at that point. You love Thor because he's really strong, but he's more of a modern character at that point. The specific one we're talking about. And the further you go, it's just like all the batteries draining to the point where alien guy from TV show spin-off animated thing that I don't even know about says, "I like this kid." And I was just like, who even are you? Like, we're trying to like transfer power into new characters. Is the Filoniism. Like, I don't even recognize these people anymore.
So
this is the Filoniism coming in. Like it's like, oh, you remember like Star Wars Rebels, don't you? No,
no.
You give it to Ahsoka. Thanks.
Ambu, whatever. Did they say his name in the movie?
No, I didn't. I had no idea who he was until you told me that's who he was.
Yeah. So they just, everybody's going to know this from no.
So I think
when he gets on his ship and he's just there, and he's like, "Mando, we got to have people alive. We're going to interrogate them." I was just like, "Who the fuck are you? What? Are you his like sleep demon that just appears every once in a while?" And he's just, what the fuck?
Gary, I think that's kind of the reason why this was put into theater, everybody actually, but specifically off what Gary was saying, this is clearly them trying to signify the turning point, that this is the Filoni era, because it's his little baby, and that's why it's not just on Disney Plus, and it's fizzling out faster than you could possibly imagine, and that's which is pretty much exactly what you'd expect, and it says everything you need to know about it going forward.
If I had to do this, like, and I would never want this job, but like, if I had to try and drum up some kind of interest with this, I would bring together everything. So, Ahsoka, the fucking Boba Fett, yeah, like I would do that. I would bring and Mando, and like I would try and bring Gina Carano back so we could get Cara Dune in a cameo.
Let's get Reva. Let's
get her in there for an 18-second cameo.
Yeah.
That's all you need. Just like, an 18-second cameo from Gina Carano.
Throw every like clump of shit against this wall and hope that something sticks, because man, it's all you got at this point. This is like, wait, we can prove that the Mandalorian is so popular, he can stand on his own merits. He doesn't need all this like key jangling in order to generate interest. Yeah, he does. Because
I think this film does establish how the First Order came to power, though.
Because everyone's retarded?
Because everyone's retarded.
Because all that stood between them and ultimate power was Sigourney Weaver.
Yep.
Have
you ever seen a 76-year-old woman drive a car? I mean, come on.
we were talking about this before, like that scene where she's in the X-Wing and it's like, we're going to be firing directly on your position. And she's like, just does not give a fuck.
No, I know. I was like, wait a minute, what? We're going to fire anyway. You're in or you're out. Oh, well. Oh, good. They made it by jumping 1,000 feet or 500 feet into a river and survived.
It shows you how powerful like Alien was as a movie, right? Where it's somehow it's given her street cred that's lasted like 40 years.
Yeah.
More than 40 years, in fact. Where it's like, we've got Ripley in our movie, right? And that gives it legitimacy. But it's like the more shit projects that she's in and just phones in a crap performance, the less meaning that has. It's like she's the female equivalent of Samuel L. Jackson at this point.
Remember
when
the
I
Defenders?
see that fucking guy show up in a movie, I'm like, it sucks.
Because Sigourney Weaver's got that white girl magic. Bring it on.
Apparently, yeah. But yeah, the Defenders you were talking about. Yeah,
oh.
I remember her. Yeah.
When she fought Elektra.
Yeah.
I just find it funny how this movie is so inconsequential that half the chat is talking about Gina Carano. That's how inconsequential.
I mean, you got to do something to make
more people are going to care about the boys. Like it's bad, I guess, for us that they all landed at the same time. But yeah,
we were talking about that earlier. I guess I should ask you, Gary, since you never got a chance to say your piece about the boys. How did you feel about that final episode?
I was so happy it turned out the way it did. It turned out exactly how I thought it would. When you set out to own the chuds, you end up pissing everybody off in the end. It was a joke that ran on way too long. Joke was on the audience. Ha ha, we got you. And but Eric Kripke pleased exactly who he wanted to please, the corporate critics. If you just make somebody a Trump allegory, 97 on Rotten Tomatoes, man.
That's well, yeah, for sure. But it seemed like he was fucking pleasing himself for the most part.
Well, yes, there was a lot of self-pleasing there. Anthony Starr. You said it, MauLer. I even included it in my video. Anthony Starr's performance carried the show, and he made something feel earnest and more complex than it really was. And then by the end, you found out that it was nothing. And even Carl Urban gets his act got old too, and he's great. Both these guys, they're both great, and they both had horrible writing, and their performances carried something that was really, if they weren't in it, you would have noticed more.
Well, to reference like the quote that we talked about earlier, there's this. Anthony Starr's goal was never to create Homelander as a Donald Trump parody. This actor was trying to play a character. Can you imagine that?
Poor
fella.
I know that's what Eric Kripke says too. Poor fella. He's trying to rationalize it. Oh well, it was it was a murder fantasy. That's all it was. It was just a murder fantasy, and it's so far off the comic books. It is just light years from the comic books.
It was just Eric Kripke's fantasy of like beating up and humiliating Donald Trump. Like,
yeah,
okay, Hope it was worth it,
And
buddy.
Elon. That was subtle, guys. I'm not sure if you caught it.
It was
Elon
so
was
subtle,
in there.
yeah.
What was what Platoon was saying earlier?
Well, it's like
just to make
when
that
he talks
joke.
about like he's concerned about like declining fertility rates amongst the white people, and then Homelander immediately blasts him into space. And it's always like this thing throughout fucking The Boys where it's like Homelander's a genocidal maniac and a complete like god complex like messiah idiot, but he's not racist. I mean, like, come on, fucking calm down. Like, he's not that bad, you know?
Well, for that joke,
God
it completely
damn.
undermines defeating him in the end piece, is what Platoon was talking about. When you establish that 3-second rule of up, down, at space, like that speed is so fast, there's nothing anyone could ever do to Homelander. He tries to fly out of the room at one point, and his son tackles him, and you'd be like, well, there you go, that's like a counter. And it's like, dude, if you're going up at that speed and someone tackles you from across, even at the same speed, which I doubt, you don't go down. You fly diagonal, basically, because you're going up and sideways at the same time. You burst out of the fucking... It's just like... It's all very boring and shit, and simultaneously ruined by all the jokes they're trying to tell. And then eventually you just turn around and you're like, why am I even bothering? Like Eric Kripke didn't.
No. But, like, he got his moment. He got to own the chuds, so...
Yeah.
There's a really cringe moment as well where Kimiko she's kind of fully restored, and Lady Sage and Onion says, I did my bit too, and then kind of leaves before...
no accountability, just let go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. You never know what they sacrificed for them. You sacrificed for the same energy.
But he's a god. He will find you. He's a god. Well, he's a proclaimed god. He's the supreme being.
The one thing I was going to ask about as well, because I was saying to you, the guys earlier, I had to play catch up with this episode because I came back in to watch the final one without like watching the previous season. Like, what happened to Queen Maeve? Did she just nope out of this season? Or what?
She went into hiding and we never saw her again.
So there's two answers to this, right? So one,
I heard the actress didn't want to do it anymore. Like, she was done.
I guess there's three answers to this. She attacks Homelander as part of the fucking season 3 finale. She tackles Soldier Boy out of the tower before he explodes, which takes powers off Soups, and then falls from a skyscraper. So of course she's dead. And then Kirky was like, I can't kill a gay person or a bisexual person, whatever the fuck.
Don't bury your gays.
I can't kill an LGBT. So of course she didn't die. And you're just like, what the fuck? What? And it's like, so she's alive. And you're like, and then she's just not in the show. And you're like, well, there was rumors that she didn't get along with Anthony Starr on set, but then there's also just she said she just didn't want to do it anymore.
I've heard that she's retired, like she doesn't act at all anymore, and she's just left the industry.
That's what I meant about 3 explanations.
There you go.
By the business.
It's a contradiction
with Anthony Starr as well. The guy's fucking.
I don't know.
Watch Banshee.
I mean, he's very good at being a psychopath, so maybe there's more going on there.
Yeah.
Banshee is awesome show. I highly recommend you watch it.
Told you.
Yeah, so you're adapting this super edgy comic, and I knew the problems were going to happen a long time ago when they changed. You know, the female of the species is what Kimiko is supposed to be called in the comics, but they wanted to give her a name to give her agency, and then they dialed back all the abuse that Starlight went through. Right. So once you're dialing all this stuff, well, it shows you're going to go soft on some things, and then you lose what the boys the boys comic wasn't the greatest thing ever written. It was a fun read and it was good for its time. We are way past that time. We are way past the deconstruction of superheroes and what if superheroes were bad. It's been done to death at this point. And it doesn't help that it took how long has it been? Season 1 came out in 2019, right?
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
Been a long time.
And you can tell by looking at the actors because they are old now. It's noticeable. Like I noticed it with Homelander, like in a lot of the close-up scenes. It's like Anthony Starr has aged quite noticeably. Fucking Carl Urban has never changed. Like,
no, he doesn't.
Exactly the same.
He's a vampire.
I mean, he's a legend.
I mean, the guy clearly dyes his beard and all and his hair and stuff because, like, there's no fucking way a 53-year-old man has got like jet black hair. Fuck off.
And we love him for it.
I mean, it's like you're playing a role. It's fine. Starlight, we talked about like how.
Oh my god,
she's
perhaps aged the worst.
A young woman, beautiful, a fucking monster now who can barely make her face move in order to form correct.
It looks like she's fixed it
with Mel Gibson.
It looks like it's been sorry, go on.
No. I was going to say Miss Moriarty was a promising talent, and now she can just talk like Rachel Zegler on the front of a camera with subtitles underneath.
I saw her on the red carpet. And it looks like it's been fixed a little bit. She's like looking a little.
She's had more work done, but like people, I mean, it's crazy with her now because
every more work, like undo the other work that's been done.
Probably not
rolling the dice every time she fucking does it. You know, sometimes you get work so bad that it's like it could only be up from here.
I love how they tried. They tried to fucking explain this as well. It's like, oh, she has like fucking Lyme's disease or whatever shit.
Graves disease.
Graves, yeah.
Graves disease, yeah. And it's like, oh, did that change the shape of her fucking nose? Did that stop her lips
boobs
from working? Did it make her
Did
boobs
that
like
force her
twice
to
as big as before?
Yeah, get a boob job from Graves? Is that how that works? I don't
It's like, yeah, fuck off. Like, no one buys this bullshit.
All the ladies will be signing up for Graves disease then. No, like, making Butcher like heroic at the end he's the bad guy in the comics. He is the bad guy.
The story is so obviously there in DNA. Butcher is basically a reflection of Homelander because of Homelander. He's like, so giving him his satisfactory like win from being basically turned into a husk of a man thanks to Homelander is kind of strange, but like none of it matters. None of the character stuff matters other than humiliate Homelander / person I believe this is.
Do you mind if I spoil some of the comics at the end?
Yeah, do it.
I think it's long enough now. Yeah, you can spoil it.
Butcher kills the female Frenchie and Mother's Milk.
No.
Yes.
No.
At the end.
That much of a bastard.
Yep.
That is fucking diabolical.
And Black Noir is a clone of Homelander and did the horrific acts which were pinned on him, and he was created to be a fail-safe, and it didn't do that at all.
No.
Yeah.
They had a better idea. Nothing.
Yeah, let's go with that. It's
We-
also known as the Mandalorian.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's an option.
Let me answer a couple of super chats just before
Sure.
we move forward here. Yeah, love that the Drinker and MauLer are making short films now, not just critiquing them. As a fellow filmmaker, it's seriously inspiring and honestly overdue. If you get a sec, please watch one of mine starring the great Toby Jones. Watch on Calipist, A Moral Man. Cheers.
Yeah,
nice.
cool, dude.
Okay. Well, thank you for that recommendation and best of luck with A Moral Man. And yeah, MauLer and I are making short films. It's been great. You've got All in Good Time. It's released on your main channel now. People can watch it right now. Go see it. Enjoy it. Spunk
with
over
many
it.
on the way from yourself, correct?
Yes. So Trial by Fire just released to the Kickstarter backers, so they get to see it first because obviously they made it happen. We're going to do our premiere for it in Toronto on June 27th. So tickets are available for that now. So get those in right when you can. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be getting drunk as fuck and hanging out with all you guys when we're there.
I'm going to be in Wisconsin during that time, not far.
Well, Gary, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
I'm thinking what you're thinking.
Let's meet in London. Perfect.
Let's do it.
No, if you're there, awesome, man.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. But yeah. So yeah, we've got that, and we've also got Complications, which is the other short film that we did. So we're going to release both of them at the same time and have the premiere over there. So that should be a lot of fun. Let's see what the next one here was. Scroll. Yes, this is from Razoria. I would have given Mango and Grok a 10 out of 10 if John Walker came out of nowhere and curb stomped Grogu into paste. I would as well, actually. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Grok. Yeah, I've been finding more enjoyment in Star Wars books than in any recent piece of media. My biggest possible hope, even if it's on life support, is that they set up the Thrawn trilogy for the next big arc in this franchise.
The problem is
have you seen what they've done with Thrawn? It's a retarded person's idea of what smart people should be like.
You have a version of that, which is written by Dave Filoni in the Ahsoka show. So, unfortunately, and also it would require basically doing away with all the sequel trilogy films as well. Can't be leading to the same place. You're right, it's what they should do, but it would entail A, getting rid of everything else they've done, and B, hiring people who are not chimps to write it. And I don't think they're capable of doing either of those things.
Agreed 100%. Lucasfilm tried everything and failed. Now they did nothing and failed. So in that sense, they did nothing wrong. I mean, your logic is impeccable in this one, in this case, actually. So yeah, you're right. The Mando movie is just like, it's the ultimate expression of, well, if we do nothing, then we can't fuck up because we've achieved nothing. We've tried nothing in the first place. So,
well, and in another sense, they've been doing that for 7 years, at least on the movie scale. Try nothing will never fail. But they were like, we should probably do something eventually.
The problem is, though, like, when you spend $200 million to do nothing, I don't know if you have really won.
Only Disney could achieve such a wonderful fucking endeavor. What in the world? Like, how do we get here is the question everyone just randomly thinks about. Is like, well, through many, many, many chapters of insane disappointment and stupidity.
Well, like you've said before, like the destruction of Star Wars as an IP and as a cultural force is going to have to be studied one day, because you took something that was instantly recognizable to any person anywhere on Earth. Almost. You know, you could say, who is Luke Skywalker? To any person, like fucking almost anywhere, and they probably know. You go now, like, hey, do you know who Din Djarin is?
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Are you having a stroke? Like, that's where we're at now.
Well,
it's become irrelevant.
When we have been saying for years now that Star Wars is dead, and people were saying you're hyperbolic, or they were just looking at it from, well, they're still making it. This is exactly what we meant. Like what we're getting now is pure apathy. Like when people were upset, I'm not upset. I laugh at this. This is funny to me. But when people were upset, that means they still cared. They are beyond caring now. And I don't think you can resurrect this anytime soon. It would take something that Disney doesn't have, a creative mind, to do it. So, you know, when Matt Walsh is making a video stating Star Wars is dead, I'm sure he's going to start it out with, I'm not sure if you heard or not, but Star Wars is dead. I think I've figured it out. You know, it's like, hey, nice to be here. You know, we've been talking about it for years, and we said this is where it was going to end up. And now Star Wars is just brand content on a fledgling streaming service, D+ that had to be, you know, combined with Hulu just to keep it going. And it's just a category. That's all it is. So the greatest cinematic IP of all time is just a little box on a streaming service.
I think it's struggling to be a brand as well, because I know there were some reports over sort of the last few years that some of its commercial partners, in terms of like merchandise, were listing it almost as a liability. It was costing money to host this supposed brand. They were not shifting enough to justify making it. I mean, think of all of the was it Reva's lightsaber? I think that was supposed to get like a packaging that was cancelled. That was never going to work.
Who was going to buy that?
I know, that's the thing. But then, on the other hand, you go back in time to the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, and it's like you will get people buying random battle droid toys. People would have bought the equivalent in even the 2000s of a Reva lightsaber, because that brand was healthy back then, even with the prequels as divisive as they were. Now, it is just a museum piece. The only thing that's worth having is something that's been out of production for decades.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, and Gary's right. Like, they're going to pine for the days that people hated it. Be like, oh man, I wish we could have those back.
Yeah, at least people cared enough to like get engaged with it. Yeah,
I love that Lucasfilm is a liability. That's brilliant. Platoon, absolutely.
Specifically, it was Hasbro, I think, was what you were talking about. Hasbro started pulling all sorts of stuff from their Pulse line because they couldn't get enough backers.
Well, didn't Az say they're doing a 1/6 scale Hot Toys Road to the Hut? And it's like, who the fuck's buying that?
Why? What is the point? Yeah. I really do try to still like Star Wars, but after the sequels, I lost it. Andor made me feel a glimmer of hope. Yeah, join the club. Then I watched Mando, Boba, and Ahsoka. It's bad. And after hearing you discussing this movie, what happened? It's sad. And hi, Gary. Well,
hello.
That's the main thing. But it is sad and it is pathetic. And this is just it's just a perfect example of a franchise that is completely run out of creative
I've got a friend I've got a friend in Texas. He WhatsApped me 2 weeks ago and he said, Jace, look at this. All the black female Star Wars toys aren't selling. And I just fell off. And also, you got to remember this, guys, that when this film comes out, I'll be very curious to see what the name of Star Wars does in terms of box office revenue. And also regarding that and Starfighter with Ryan Gosling, if that performs really well next year, are they going to say, well, it's a one-off, and then people become very enthused about it again? And I think for Grok and Mandalorian, they're going to do something that's similar on YouTube now. If you look up fan reaction to 1983 Return of the Jedi. It's a really wholesome clip of fans not fighting, amazingly enough, but talking about who they want to be. They're going to do something like that for Mandalorian. You're going to get all the people like, oh my God, that was such a great film. Go and watch it.
Well,
but the difference is you won't get people queued up around the block to watch it.
No, because like we've moved beyond the identity politics phase with Star Wars, and like with something like Mandalorian and Grogu, there's nothing there to even get angry about.
No. There's no point. There's no story. There's no
nothing.
Substance, no material. There's nothing in there for your soul. There's nothing at all.
It's going to be
this is like
difficult to review.
Where it's like, is it better to be hated or ignored? Like, I don't know, man. I really don't.
It's crazy too. This is Jon Favreau's like grand exit from Star Wars. This is him being like, all right, I'm waving my way away. Best of luck, everyone. Enjoy my last contribution. You're just like, what the fuck?
What contribution?
What?
Is it definitely his last? I thought he was threatening more because he said that,
as far as I know, this is the end for him.
Grogu.
It's that meme. It's the
as far as I know, he's passing this on to other people. It's like this is his film and he's out. He doesn't want to make any more.
They haven't adjusted box office. It hasn't really changed. They're saying 85 to 100 million domestic here in the country that counts America.
The opening weekend
for the 4-day weekend. So we got a holiday. It's Memorial Day weekend.
It's gonna have to go some to reach that, man.
So they're saying anywhere from 350 million to 550 million total worldwide.
We'll see.
They're really banking on the fact that it's a holiday. They're really banking on that.
If this does 550 million, I'll be shocked.
I mean, I don't think it'll get close to that, but I'm just saying is that they specifically released it on a holiday weekend, hoping it would help the boost it, and I don't think it's going to matter.
No, yeah. I don't think so. I mean, like, I would rather do my taxes than watch this again.
Yeah. To the point about Rota the Hutt speaking English, I can remember Dave Filoni in a Clone Wars documentary saying most aliens in that show spoke English as they didn't want too many subtitles in the kids' show. Thoughts?
What are you talking about?
I mean, like, the Hutts are well known. Like, I guess the only exposure we've had with like the Hutts has been through the movies where they very clearly speak their own language and it's subtitled, and it's the big, gravelly, booming voice. And so when you hear like just like this guy like talking like this, it's in plain English, it is so
jarring.
What do we do? Fucking kids can read. Kids watch those movies. What's going on?
Well,
fucking hell. Maybe not anymore.
They have to look up at the screen to read. They have to look up at that screen to read. That's the problem.
I mean, come on, Dave. I watch Far East Asian action movies. They've got subtitles. Is that a bad thing to say?
Yeah. It's just nonsense.
Terrible.
Drinker, I just saw your cameo in book 3 of Dungeon Crawler Kyle. That was awesome. Your book series will be the next read. Oh, well, apparently, according to the author of that fucking series, I'm like persona non grata. Like, he doesn't want to work with me. He's ashamed.
And wanted to make a big issue out of it.
Yeah. It's like, man, I'd fucking forgotten I even did that thing. It was like 40 minutes of work about 5 years ago.
It was all for his Peacock series that's in development. Like, he thinks he's made it now, on the 10th most watched streaming service in America. All right.
Yeah.
Hope it gets made, buddy.
Good luck to you, Matt Dinnerman. Yeah, and honestly, the worst part about Disney Star Wars for me is that when I rewatch the original 6 episodes, it makes me feel like shit knowing where the lore goes. I much preferred imagining what could be rather than what is.
I think you can still do that. That's the thing. I mean, it takes a slight bit of effort to erect this sort of Jeffersonian wall between what is good Star Wars and what isn't Star Wars anymore. But I mean, each to their own. I don't have a problem doing that. It's the episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and/or usually Rogue One. And then everything else is just some clown took in charge and then wrote a bunch of fan fiction.
I 100% agree. And it took some effort, but I managed to accomplish this with Star Trek, where I can watch the original series and the TNG and stuff. Basically everything up until about like the end of Star Trek Enterprise, and say that's like siphoned off into its own protected little bubble. That is like real Star Trek. Anything beyond that is just bullshit, nonsense, fan fiction. Don't need to worry about it.
The most impressive feat that Disney has pulled off is that people now accept the prequels and are like, yes, that was good. That was part of the peak right there, when that used to be the dividing point, was the prequels and the OG trilogy.
It's still contentious to this day, but it's solidifying around that, and it's the same with Indiana Jones. Like, people look back on Kingdom of the Crystal Skull now, and they're like, yeah, perhaps I judge you too harshly compared to fucking Dial of Destiny. It's
nah.
sad.
Fuck that movie.
If I put it this way, if I had to choose between those two movies, like, which one do you have to watch on loop ad infinitum? It would be Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, no question whatsoever.
It is better than Dial of Destiny, I'll give you that.
Yes.
Yeah. The other thing, gentlemen, I was going to bring up was Supergirl is also a movie which is going to happen this year, hypothetically at least.
Directed by Craig Gillespie. Oh my god.
It's had an interesting reception so far, and part of it has been fueled by Millie all the cocks talking about it, and people's perception of women on screen, which ruffled a few feathers. But now she is taken to Variety to clarify her opinions on this.
Thank God.
And she's doing a Rachel Zegler, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. I'll bring it up here. Yeah. So, speaking to Variety in a new feature interview, All the Cox further elaborated on her comments that triggered a bunch of adult men on the internet.
Yeah.
So, I didn't even say men. I said people. This was referring to people have gotten too comfortable with ownership over women's bodies. I mean, if you say something like that, my mind immediately jumps to men rather than women.
It's a bit
crazily enough.
If the sentence would women have gotten too into controlling women's bodies doesn't really make much sense, does it? It'd be like, well, they'd be the what? So people just assumed you'd be talking about men.
And she was talking about men because she now proves the point with the follow-up. It's like, I didn't say men, but men are angry. It's like, yep, because everybody knew that that's what you were talking about, and now you confirmed that's what you were talking about, so everyone was right.
Well, here we go. It's like, so they got so angry, and I was like, you're proving my point. You're proving my point. And the backlash is from people whose profiles have no photo, who are burner accounts, or someone whose name is Dad of Four, Christian, which is hilarious to me. But I mean, whose opinion do you really care about? If you're pissing the right kind of people off, you're doing okay.
So just here's a thing. You're an actress and you have a movie coming out, an American blockbuster, which needs to do really well in America. Your job is not to piss off Dad of Four Christian, because that's 5 movie tickets you're not going to get. You're doing a bad job. If you read the rest of this article, by the way, she comes off as really nice, really grounded, like basically what you would assume she was from other interviews before all of this controversy, kind of the impression she gives, like everything around House of the Dragon. The reason quite a lot of us liked her performance, but also she seems like a normal, well-adjusted person. Everything else in this interview is all that. I came away until I got to this point thinking, no, you seem like someone I would really get on with. And then, unfortunately, it gets to this section. And then this section is the bit that's clipped for the headline. If she led with everything else, and if the media had been helping her out in this situation, we wouldn't be in this mess. But unfortunately, she's doing the Hollywood thing. Hollywood women have to say lines like this, otherwise they don't get employed.
Well, and it's such a confrontational attitude to take towards people, because exactly as you said, if you piss off, say, Christian father of 4, it's like, well, that's one person who's not going to be taking their family to go watch your movie. But at the same time, it's like, you are literally employed to sell the product to people. You're an actor, sure, but like when you're in the promo stage of this whole thing, when you're going out on the promotional tours and you're doing your interviews and stuff, you're a salesman. You're there to sell your product. Your product is the movie, and you need to sell it to as many people as possible. And if you're going to take this attitude, like, hey, I did a dumb thing that annoyed a lot of people, and you know what? That's a good thing, because I pissed off the right people. Like, well, you're going to piss off more of the right people that you could theoretically have had as customers. Is that really what you want? I mean, it's the Eric Kripke approach, I suppose. Like, hey, the only people who still watch my show are like the quarter of the audience that I once had, but like they 100% agree with my politics, and that's great. Well, okay, awesome.
Well, this is the major issue with majority of actors getting most of their money up front, that they don't realize that what they're saying, because it doesn't affect their bottom line. It affects the movie's bottom line. They've already been paid. So.
Also, in a slight defense, not defense of the extremely stupid thing she's here saying, it's kind of difficult for her to be selling this movie because this interview starts off with the Variety person editorializing and saying, unusually, it might even be the first time, I was not able to screen this movie before this interview. And Millie Alcock said she hasn't seen it either. We're what, like a month out? So I don't know how unusual that is in Hollywood, but I mean, it seems to me like Varieties seems a bit perturbed by the fact they haven't seen the movie first.
They don't know what edit they're going with yet, okay? You got to give them a second. They're figuring it out.
They've got to go through all those test screenings. Like, I mean, I think it's unanimously agreed amongst this panel, like, Supergirl is going to flop hard. No one gives.
Well, the fun fight was, would it lose more money than Mando and Grogu?
I was just about to say that.
What's the greater degree of apathy here? I mean, I think this actually might do better in the sense that, like, people have transitioned beyond apathy towards it to, no, we're actually kind of like disliking it now because, you know, it's getting into this identity politics arena that it didn't need to, but like it's picking a fight that it can't win. Like, well, okay, if you want to pick that fight, we'll fucking beat you. Fine. Good luck to you.
Well, Paul Tassi on X dropped a doozy about he doesn't think that Supergirl is going to do that well. And there's a comment in the article where, I know, what a shocker, right? There's a comment where Millie says, well, I'll be wearing my costume sometimes, but you might mostly see me in jeans and a ripped t-shirt. She's called Supergirl because I want to see a hot-looking woman, well, not in Alcott's case, as Supergirl, like Laura Vandervoort in Smallville, who was awesome. She's my favorite. Just like Erica Durant is my favorite Lois Lane. But I guess if you're paying a ticket to see Supergirl, then she's not in the film, get a refund? Oh, wait a minute, you can't. So that's how Warner Brothers makes their money.
I mean, like, there's two strands to this. Like, on the one hand, I don't think there's a huge amount of enthusiasm for this character and this iteration of this character, like, within the James Gunn DC universe, because, one, he's failed to, like, capture the public's imagination with Superman, and if you can't do it with him, good luck doing it with Supergirl, because she's a fucking, like, subsidiary character that she needs a strong franchise to prop her up. But two, like the version of Supergirl that we've seen in these trailers, she's that drunken, messed up party girl who's not here to like live up to your expectations. Well, fuck off then, I guess. Like I don't care about you. If you don't care about yourself, why should I as an audience member? Like there's nothing that you can offer that's going to get me interested. And look, when you also pair that with an actress who doesn't seem to give a fuck and like is straight up out to antagonize the audience, well, you've got yourself another Snow White in the making. So
I like Sasha Calle in The Flash as Supergirl. She was great. She should have been given a second chance, but James Gunn took over and that was it. We never got that shot again, sadly.
And eventually, so it's one of those things, you know, how many times can you say it's not made for you and then people don't show up to watch it? And then you're like, well, why didn't anyone come along? It's eventually that's
why
that's going to bankrupt everything eventually.
It's the Elizabeth Banks effect all over again.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, we don't need you to support our movie. Well, turns out you do actually.
Otherwise,
no one's going to watch it.
It's a little important for customers to want to go to a movie and feel welcome. And as Platoon said, Hollywood can't afford, the DCU can't afford this. Hollywood can't afford this, and they're still doing it. They need to shut up. You can feel however you want politically, but you need to shut up because your industry is not going to survive at this point, and it's not hyperbole at all. The industry with it, the centralized industry of Hollywood is dying, and it really all depends on a mayoral election right now, what that future will be. So the best thing to do is, and she walked right into the media trap, right? She's given this nice interview and then they bring that back up again. She falls right into it. And that's what they're looking for. And that's what everybody's talking about. So you think their agents would make them a little more savvy, but they just keep doing it. Oh, well. Movie's probably going to suck anyway.
The thing is, that's the thing, because like there's what we get from her in interviews, but there's also like what we're actually going to get from her on screen as Supergirl. And the winning move, I think, would have been to go for a Wonder Woman type approach where she's like very earnest, she's warm, she's like likable, she's like trying her best in very difficult situations. What we get instead is like, no, and like, as I said before, like she's drunk, she's like a party girl, she's not interested in any of this heroic crap.
She's messy.
Yeah, she literally pisses on Superman's legacy. No, I don't need this edgy fucking like, oh, I'm too cool to care about anything bullshit. No, you should care because you don't have the luxury of like fucking apathy now. You're desperate for people to like you, and you need to reflect that. You need to actually make people like you because what we have right now, it's not likable. It's just an asshole. It's an asshole who doesn't care about anything. We're so fucking done with this like nihilistic superheroes are over kind of crap. If you're going to make anything work, it's got to be earnest and it's got to mean something. I don't think they can do that, but that's where they needed to go with this.
And James Gunn isn't the guy. He's trapped in like 2005 to 2012 taste as far as comic books and superheroes. The era that the Boys comic came out. That's what he's trapped in. That's you open your trailer with a CGI dog pissing on Superman's face.
Yeah.
Like what? What are we doing? So yeah, I think it's man, I don't know if there's a poly market on this. I'm not a betting dude. I don't like losing money, but I think that would be an interesting bet. What makes less money? Supergirl or Mando?
Ooh, that's a good one actually. Pano, give your thoughts. Let's go clockwise, right? So if I had to make the prediction, what's going to make less? I think Mando is going to make less, but it's going to be close. I think if Mando is probably going to be around the 300 million mark, I reckon. I think Supergirl might conceivably do 350, but it's going to be close.
All right. Well, for me, I think there's no fucking way that Supergirl gets above. I've always said 40% of Superman, so we're looking 250 absolute maximum. I think for me, and I don't even know. I think they've lied through their teeth about the budget for that film, so I think it's losing a shit ton of money. Mando's probably losing a bunch of money, so I'd say Supergirl's going to lose more.
Well, are we? Yeah. Oh, wait. Let me clarify. Are we? Which makes a less gross, or which we think will lose more
just
overall?
Not profitability, just which makes less money.
Okay.
Makes it. I can see Supergirl making marginally less money than Mando and Grogu.
Oh,
I'm going to say, just on the Star Wars name alone, this might shock the panel. I'm going to go for the nice 500 million that Grogu makes because it's Star Wars and families and kids are going to go and watch it. Supergirl made a few videos about this and I keep changing my mind, but I'm going to sit firmly on its total worldwide gross will be $340 million.
I think you're being wildly optimistic with Mandalorian.
Yeah, I'm going to go and watch it. So, yeah, shoot me in the head, why don't you?
It's the tricky thing. It's because so much of it depends on what Supergirl is. Mando doesn't have any rewatch value, so it'll do well opening and then really badly on second weekend. I don't know with Supergirl because we don't know what the film is, but
so I mean, I'm gonna say Mando. I feel like Star Wars is slightly deader than the DCU. I think there might just be some. You might capture some interest in in terms of like, oh well, let's see where they go with this. Whereas Mandalorian and Grogu, we already everybody knew where that was going. So the only people who are going to go see that are the ones who want to see specifically what Mandalorian was making. Whereas there's still somewhat of a mystery going on with Supergirl. So I think that might make just a little bit more, but they're going to be really close, unfortunately.
I think both of these movies will be completely forgotten within a week of them coming out. Some of like by the time you get to the car, if you actually went to the theater to see Mando, by the time your hand hits the car, you ride your train, it's gone. God, this is hard. I'm gonna go back. I still think it's Supergirl. I'm with MauLer. It makes a certain percentage of what Superman makes, which is like, I just did the math, $360 million, maybe. So I think the Star Wars brand is stronger than the DCU just based on that, but I could be wrong.
Here's one thing, and someone literally just mentioned it in the chat. There is one character we didn't really talk about that people might be interested in. That's the fact that Lobo is in Supergirl
for 15 minutes.
It doesn't matter if it's 15 minutes or 15 seconds. It may actually.
Michael Keaton, Batman. Did that help?
I don't think Lobo helps Supergirl that much at all. It might on an entertainment factor, but for like marketing,
for hardcore comic book enthusiasts, maybe. But that's like,
why the fuck would hardcore comic fans be wanting to see this movie? Let's be honest.
It's because that was the fan casting. That's the only. So people always said that he would make a better Lobo than he made Aquaman, based on look, and they gave it, and that's the fan casting. So maybe that might springboard a little bit in opening weekend. This is such a hard debate to have.
Yeah,
he should have been Lobo in Zack Snyder's universe, make him heavy metal, death rocking, slashing aliens. But no, let's make him Aquaman. Didn't make any sense, Zach.
I mean, like, he got in shape for the role and stuff, so you got to respect that at least. And he wasn't terrible as Aquaman, but yeah. As Lobo, I mean, he seems to be having fun with it, I guess.
Yeah. He looks the part.
Yeah. I feel like he just like drifts from role to role and he just like fucking doesn't care. It's like, yeah, I'll just take what's coming. It's like, oh, Minecraft movie? Yeah, sure, I'll do that. Why not?
Or just watch the Superman animated series and watch Lobo fight Superman in that. It's hilarious. It's a classic.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was played by what was it? Who did his voice? Brad Garrett did the voice. It was perfect.
Yeah,
I think both these movies combined won't make as much as like Toy Story 5.
Oh,
or Spider-Man.
Toy Story will somehow still make $1 billion because it's Toy Story. It's like...
Well, the movie I'm really excited for this year is The Odyssey. I mean, that's going to dominate everything. It's going to be Zendaya's greatest performance. I can't wait to see Lupita Nyong'o playing Helen of Troy, like the most beautiful woman in the world. Sure. Okay.
Not another Greek movie. I mean, come on, Nolan. Just call it a spoof. If you sold it as a spoof, people will flock to watch it. But no, he's selling it as the most serious thing he's ever done. It's very important. It's historically accurate. And it's like going to a school play and you see the kids playing these characters on the stage. He's recreating that with a bigger budget on a bigger screen. And yeah, all the IMAX cinemas are fully booked out in the UK for this thing.
It's baffling.
Nobody's going to bat an eyelid.
It's a baffling movie. I don't know what he's trying to achieve with this, but wow, it's going to be an interesting one.
It's
one of you guys. I think it was MauLer that said he preferred Fincher to Nolan. And you know what, MauLer? I completely agree with you, sir. Even though I like a lot of Nolan's back catalogue, even though he's a bit of a Michael Mann worshipper, and I think this version of the Odyssey might be like the Keep from 1983, but not, well, I do say not as atrocious. I might have to walk that one back. Actually, it could be equally atrocious.
Are we talking like living directors or active directors?
I thought we were talking about living ones.
Yeah, living and active. Fincher.
I would take
conversation
Fincher. I would take Fincher over Nolan.
I would too.
Nolan balance of his work.
Fincher and Eggers. I guess Spielberg and Scott are still Cameron. They're still going.
Scott, like fucking
Eggers would have made a good Odyssey. Wouldn't have been mass market popular, but it would have been really cool.
It would have been wild though.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at what he did with the Northman, like, damn.
That was mythology put to screen. And
yes,
it really, I freaking love that movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you don't know what the fuck is going on, but like, God, it looks glorious when it's happening.
Valkyrie that looks like she's got braces on coming at you. You know, it's like,
yeah, she's got a grill. She's got 100%
grill. I know it's a grill from the whatever, but yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
It's a trippy movie.
Silly question, but where do you find your clips and scenes that you edit into your YouTube videos? I have an idea for a YouTube that I haven't actually seen anyone else do, but I don't know where to go for downloads and scenes for movies that I can actually edit content out from.
Oh, are we going to
downloader.
sell the secrets of our secret sauce of
you can't do that.
going on YouTube and looking them up and then screen recording them? And
Yeah,
then,
it's not difficult. Like there's many plugins for Firefox that let you download YouTube videos. And yeah, for me, it's literally just, it's nothing more complex than that was a funny thing from a movie that I remember. And I want to try and like work this into what I do. And sometimes it just expresses your sentiments perfectly. You know, whether it's J. Jonah Jameson going like, you serious? Yeah, or you know, fucking Zach Galifianakis like with his like chuckling laugh. You know,
or the thing, you got to be fucking kidding me, or Robert De Niro and Cape Fear. I mean, these are like go-tos.
And we've all got our thing, right? Like,
yeah.
Whether it's you or MauLer or whatever, we've all got our like things that tickled us, and like generally we try not to step on each other's toes too much by using each other's things.
Yeah, we have the meetings where we talk about.
MauLer has to approve them all. Yeah,
like this clip from this movie, that's mine.
Hey,
okay, you guys can't
MauLer,
take that.
Thank you for approving Elliot for my last for the
no
Odyssey
problem.
video.
No problem. You gotta
appreciate it.
Got to do a meeting after this stream. Okay. New clips that are allowed.
Yeah, but no, it's part of what we do, I suppose, and like everyone's got their like unique little collection of clips that they like to use. And
yeah, it just comes to you. Or sometimes you see like you're watching a show like Clarkson's Farm actually has a lot of clips that I'd love to use. So we keep files of, well, I'm sure you guys do, and I know Perry and Garrett do. We have assets we have file assets with just clips that I'm like, that'll make a good clip, you know?
You know what I love is like if I use something new and then Perry uses it like at some point in one of your videos, I'm like, yes. If it passes the Perry test, then it's like, yeah, I've done something good.
Perry's a stickler, man. Both Perry and Garrett will go, that didn't work. You need to change that. That was not funny. So I love when I have editors that's like, thank you for telling me that. I thought it was funny, but apparently it's not. And I believe them.
Yeah. In your new pair of eyes. So allow me to drop back a little bit to the beginning. So just answer a few super chats before we finish up here. So ran out of channel names says, hello, drinker. I want to play a game. Picks related. Well, okay, play your game with me. I'm ready for it. Chiridias says, MauLer, what has more cringe dialogue, mixtape or Suicide Squad? Don't forget about Amanda Waller's iconic I'm your daddy now line.
It's mixtape. Mixtape is constant. 100% of the fucking lines are just insufferably awful. Drinker, Gary, Platoon,
yes.
You got to play it. You've all got to stream it.
Gary, you hardcore game, are you?
Gary's the perfect game for you. It's the one game that's been criticized all over the internet for you don't even have to play it.
You know,
it's like he comes back on screen. It's like, well, you have my attention.
You have my attention. I wish I could get in before I go to Japan, but
no, I know.
Maybe when I get
back. But honestly, my chat was blowing up when I was playing it for the notion of you playing it because the whole game is meant to appeal to 80s and 90s nostalgia.
Okay,
but they're phonies, dude.
Are you gonna walk me through it?
No,
how many doors?
I want you to do it solo.
Okay,
I want you to do it solo.
No help at all.
When are you doing in Japan, by the way?
We're going to Japan on Saturday for 12 days doing a megalithic trip. Thank you. Yeah, I'm terrified of the plane, but once we get there, I'll have fun. But we're doing a megalithic tour, but we're also going to do some city stuff. And
I've been to Japan, Gary. I'll give you some advice afterwards.
All right.
Nice.
Ryan Kittle's going. That'll be fun.
I want your input because I'm going in October.
Awesome.
So looking forward to that. Lord Deval, and he's been a member for 23 months, says Star Wars Old Republic games had cool Mandos and interesting lore. Look up Casus Fett. But for a while, except Andor, Star Wars has been a joke. It needs a reset. I agree.
Yeah.
He also says, Drinker, the Will Smith crash and burn was great, but it makes me a little sad. Jada was abusive bitch. Had the genders been reversed in that, imagine the uproar. Yeah, I like I said, I resisted making that crash and burn for a long time, but my audience kept asking me like, I do one on Will Smith. And I was like, fine, I'll look it up. And when I made it, I was just like, this there's no Schadenfreude in this one. Like, he didn't deserve it. I just felt like he was a fucking victim of circumstance, and I felt sad for him. It was a shame, but yeah, he did crash and burn nonetheless.
If he does Bright 2, that will completely resurrect his career. Okay, just saying.
He'll make more Bad Boys movies. I think that's all he's got at this point.
The last one wasn't terrible. I like.
Maybe if
Yeah,
he
it's fine.
slaps himself at the next like Oscars,
Well, he gets
undo the damage.
He gets slapped in Bad Boys 4. They
address
it. Yeah, they make a joke about it.
They make a joke. Yeah, but yeah, Will Smith in the 2000s. That fucking guy was on fire.
Dude,
like
unstoppable.
A proper movie star. Like we talk about Tom Cruise and stuff. Will Smith was one of those movie stars.
Enemy of the State.
Yeah,
great film.
All the Men in Black movies. Like, you know, he was just.
I love Bright, by the way. I genuinely, unapologetically love that movie. He should do it.
You should probably apologize for
me and
that, though.
Archcast are the only two who like it, but some of the chat likes it. There you go. Yeah. Some people go, yikes.
Yeah. Kunt says, Platoon, I'm placing you in a trap. How much for you to play mixtape?
I think I've accidentally, unfortunately, already agreed to do it.
How do you accidentally, unfortunately?
Well, because so I saw MauLer was streaming it, and so I logged onto his stream at the precise moment he was conspiring with his own chat to get me to play the game, and so I was kind of locked in, and then apparently it was $10.
To do it, aren't you, MauLer?
The thing is with this one, Drinker, it's 3 hours. Like, you know, as games go, that's not the worst thing ever, and I think it'll be worth it.
So, just from a gaming point of view, is it like based on reactions or rhythm, or is it literally just making decisions?
Why would I spoil that?
I'm not good at that.
Just curious. That's all.
I can't wait to see your reactions to each of these. There's a lot of different sections with different things in them, and it'll evoke just the worst version of anything you've ever done in gaming.
I've done lots of bad things, to be fair. Yeah. Honored Brother says, can you review more stop motion media such as Wildwood or Out of Words? Also, did you hear about Jacksepticeye's Bloodborne movie in development?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's been news for a while. You know, we'll see. That's all I can say about that. I don't know how much of I don't know if he's a boon to the idea of a project for Bloodborne. We'll see. I hope. I don't know enough about him, you know.
Stygame says, Platoon, only you can play Lord of Ring on Xbox One.
I have no Xbox One. I am uniquely unsuited to this task.
King Midas Boner says, Hail Plano, with Hollywood relying on reboots, team-ups, and legacy sequels, makes me wonder the craziest thing you can come up with on the spot. Cheers. A group of lemmings that have they have to fight against their instincts to run off a cliff and like go on some epic adventure to find the real meaning of friendship and life.
No,
through the medium of interpretive dance. There you go.
I mean, I'd watch it.
Pano, give me something here.
Lesbian Vampire Killers 2. Bring back James Corden. Ta-da!
No, never bring back James Corden.
Wherever he's gone, he must stay.
Yes.
I was in the chat before and I saw this one ahead of time, and so it got me thinking, and I was like, what could I do? What's two things I could combine? And I started going with like F1 and Days of Thunder and like stuff like that, because like those are, you know, one's old, one's newer. And then some really random ass thing came to me that would make a shit ton of money just because of dads and their sons going. And it was if you made a movie called Days of Thunder and Lightning, and somehow they made a live action Lightning McQueen that is in NASCAR. I was like, oh, okay, that could work. That could make a shit ton of money.
No, wait.
We're combining things. Is that?
No, one of the things said it was like team ups and legacy sequels and stuff or something.
Well,
like that.
I've got one then. Euphoric Thunder. So we take Sydney Sweeney's character from Euphoria and put her into NASCAR, but she's topless throughout most of it. So I think we're going to appeal to every demographic with that one. To this day, I'm convinced that the only reason anyone knows about Euphoria is because Sydney Sweeney's boobs get out in that.
Well, You got to appeal to the Eric Kripkes of the world. So you got to say she's a Trump allegory in the car. It's like, trust me, it'll work.
How about a cheerleader as a vampire slayer?
Oh yeah,
make that work.
That
never
works.
been done before for sure.
Gene the Revenant asks us, for the whole panel, what's more frustrating to see, a bad film making bank at the box office or a good film flopping? Probably a good film flopping, actually, because you want it to do well. You're cheering it on, and then it doesn't happen.
I think I'm inclined to say the opposite, because if a bad film does really well, it's like some people have made a positive choice to have no taste whatsoever, and it's easier for me to get annoyed at them. Whereas if people just don't know about a good film, it could be that they've never heard about it or the marketing wasn't there. So,
you mean like Minecraft being a hit is going to perpetuate the slop?
Yeah.
Okay.
I also think the culture that we live in now, or the environment we live in with movies, there's so much shit. When good things come out, you desperately want them to succeed, and when they don't, that's frustrating. But I feel
because bad stuff succeeds a lot. Good stuff succeeding sometimes there's a lot more risk. Whenever it happens, you're like, thank fuck.
Yeah, I think, but I also think it's a little bit. So more people are like way easier to convince to go. Oh, that didn't do well in theaters, but it was a really good movie. Go check it out. Then they come back to you. Oh, it was actually really good. So I feel like that's a little bit easier to swallow than the opposite, which is somebody using financial success to justify the quality of a film. For instance, Barbie. That's a great example where everyone's like, oh, but it made $1 billion. I'm like, yeah, but it was a piece of shit. Like, why would that matter?
Captain Marvel made $1 billion.
Yeah, exactly. That's another great example. So I think it's easier to swallow only because you could kind of be like, well, I know that's good, and it doesn't matter what the box office said.
What is something lately that has been really good that is tanked?
That's a good question.
I'm having a hard time thinking of it.
It didn't tank. Andor was really good and didn't get the viewership it really required.
I think I'm not going to say it's really good or anything, but Mortal Kombat 2 was pretty enjoyable. But I think it bombed at the box office.
It did. I was a bit shocked by that.
I'm not shocked that it bombed.
But I think Street Fighter coming in October will make a lot more bang for buck because it's a PG-13.
The Fall Guy
in the trailer.
Yeah, the Fall Guy.
Yeah, that was a fun movie.
A lot of fun.
Better Man. Yes, chat. Hail, chat on that one. I love Better Man. Totally bombed.
Jacob says, for a drunker drinker, set videos to half speed. Yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah, Mandalorian and Grogu is a good argument to have speed changes in the theater if you go to see it, because you will definitely want to watch that on double speed.
I said that before. Like, I watched it on 1.25 speed, and even then I was slow. Like bored as fuck. Yeah. Like, the thing is, like, that's the thing. Normally with a movie you would notice that it's sped up, but like with Mandalorian and Grogu, it felt normal. It felt like that was the speed it should have been.
Mm-hmm.
That's the scary thing. So it's like, Christ, how boring must that be at normal speed? Robbo says Kripke implied the finale was going to take some big swings, but like the whole season, it was lazy and perfunctory, blue balling at every turn and shutting off Soldier Boy, as he did was criminal. Wishing Star and Ackles and Urban all the best. I mean, 100% agree with that one. But
the VCU guys, the VOT cinematic universe. So when you become the meme, when the satirical parody becomes the parody, which The Boys has been for quite some time. The minute they announced,
"We'll get it done,"
the minute that happened, it was over.
Yeah.
It was over.
Blue Collar Loser says, I'm seeing Mando because Darkhour told me it's his favorite film of 2026. No way I'm lying about that. Also, A Shame with the Boys, Star and Urban are great. They are great, yeah. And I really hope you enjoy Mando.
I'm glad to see that he fell for my trick.
Yeah. Hikira says, such a shame. The Boy started so strong. I watched up to season 3 just because of Jensen Ackles. Loved Supernatural seasons 1 to 5 as well. Kripke went full Hamill and just made everything about Trump. Never go full Hamill. Yes. That's good advice for life, I would say. Batfan says, has anyone seen Obsession? I heard it's great. Also, I'm having a blast with Lego Batman. Well, that is good. And yeah, people have been talking about Obsession a lot with me.
I'm definitely going to watch that. I've had a bunch of people talk about it as well.
Yeah. Is it worth it? Anyone seen it?
Not yet, but we
will.
will.
It's not then. Sty Game says Bungie's ending support for Destiny 2 in 2 weeks. Oh no, what a shame. I played that game for at least a month, I think, back in the day. And then I realized there was fucking nothing to it, just like the first Destiny. Yeah. That is a shame. Like, they had so much backstory written in for that, and they used none of it. Oatman says, the Critical Gamer plays mixtape when? Well, apparently as soon as possible, because MauLer said I have to do it. Do it, Drinker. You'll love it, honestly.
Yeah, well, Bungie was a bad investment for Sony because they lost so many millions or billions with them. So, yeah, never mind, Sony.
Yeah. Reno the Turk says, during Ask the Drinker, you said I'm turning into Sean Connery again. This has happened before. Does it start with the hair loss, or is it like Teen Wolf? Well, with Sean Connery, it depends on how much you have to drink, you know? Overall, though, who knows what's going to happen with an Ask the Drinker stream? It becomes chaotic after a certain point. Reno the Turk says... Sorry.
I was going to say, I love the fact that Scottish people have to do impressions of Sean Connery. Like, he's so far beyond even the normal accent.
He's a weird one, because, like, I grew up in and around Edinburgh, and I've never heard anyone talk like Sean Connery does. He is unique. His voice is... Yeah, it's different. But, I mean, it's distinctive, so there's that. Reno the Turk says, you said you're an only child. You also said I need to convince MauLer that the OG Resident Evils are the best. If not, you guys are going to fight and somebody is going to die. That sounds like MauLer is your little brother. A little bit, yeah. And I like to bully him occasionally.
I'm right with that.
Can you really bully an interdimensional being? I've tried. I really have. Yeah. What's the next one here? Yeah. That dude Darty says, it's what Clara would have wanted. Is the boys somehow Palpatine returned? So is that quote from the boys?
It's what Clara would have wanted?
Yes,
Why am I'm blanking on that?
I don't know. That's what he says here in this quote.
I'm lost.
Sorry.
That's not unusual.
Zeddy Boy says, MauLer, I saw that he changed his name back to Utterly Noah and you updated your video titles again. Well done, sir. Don't let him escape justice.
Keep an eye on him.
Is he trying to run away from you, is he?
He tried to run away from the previous brand, but then his new video, just didn't get anywhere. So I assumed he thought, oh God, I'm gonna have to stick with the brand, even though it's known as the Plagiarism Man.
Didn't he also upload a video, delete the apology video about apologizing for plagiarism, then change the brand, then release a video which people said was plagiarized, then restored the apology video and changed the name back, I think is how that ran, but I may have got some events mixed up.
Yeah, so he's a complete and utter retard then.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's good to know at least. Godzilla's Greaser says, what's your favorite Bond songs? Mine are GoldenEye, Thunderball, License to Kill, Goldfinger, and Surrender by KD Lang from TND. So, yeah, favorite songs from Bond movies?
Live and Let Die.
That's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good
definitely.
One, yeah.
A lot of the ones I would have picked.
Or, sorry,
I want to mention Casino Royale as well. I think that one's cool.
Yeah.
Chris Cornell.
Yeah.
Yep. That one's very good.
You know my name, GoldenEye, Tina Turner, Nancy Sinatra, You Only Live Twice from, the same film, the same name. Oh, God. Oh, I've got to say, got to bring in Timothy Dalton because he's my favorite Bond. But both songs for those films, except for License to Kill, because Gladys Knight, being a devout Christian, censors the word kill and calls it killed like Sean Connery. So there you go.
What was the one that Gladys Knight did for Bond?
Yeah, License to Kill.
Yeah, that was I
It's
did quite
a
like that one
license
actually.
to kill. Yeah, listen to it. It's very strange. She needed the money, apparently.
Diamonds Are Forever is good. The unused Radiohead one, Spectre, is also a good song.
LC Le Pen says MauLer's seen hell the last 48 hours. From Jim Gordon's foam gun to cheese. His game streams were cursed yet hilarious. Cheers to the long man.
No, not torture. I loved it, and that's why I'm encouraging everyone to play that game. Drinkable love mixtape.
I love it. It's great fun. Snex says Mango and Grok in Star Wars mix holocron. Yeah, absolutely. Jeremy Soden says peak 90s gaming. Mubes, rather you than I. It's got to be mixtape then.
Yeah.
Sonny Harder says, Drinker, can you have a MauLer-less stream with others? No, never. I have to have MauLer with me at all times. He's like my comfort blanket. I wrap him around me.
It's happened a couple of times.
Yeah.
Platoon filled in once. I remember it.
Master of Puppets says, do you think the hunt for Gollum will do better than Mango and Grok? Yes, and it deserves to because it's glorious.
Why?
Jeremy Soden says, my music nerd palette cleanser after that game would be Nick Hornby's High Fidelity. I prefer the book, but I love Mr. Cusack.
It's a good film.
Time Bomb says, first time super chat, open bar, just happened to fall on my birthday this year. We'll be grilling some brats while listening to you gents. P.S. Thank you for your sacrifice, MauLer.
No problem. I'm glad people apparently were very entertained with the suffering.
I must admit, I could murder a bratwurst right now. And yes, the drinker likes to gobble sausage. What can I say? I mean, we're all human. Fatness Never Lean, which is still a name I love, says, late and merry as usual. Love you, though. Well, we try our best. Dennis Kiergaard, happy to catch you guys live again. Loved your movies, by the way. Looking forward to more. Well, MauLer and I aim to please. Sterber says, Drinker, since you're doing Resident Evil with MauLer, have you seen Zero's Zero is Taken challenge videos? He's hilarious and would make the perfect meat for Resident Evil drunk sandwich. Slange. So what is he? I don't know. Is he some kind of Resident Evil player, speedrunner? What?
Don't know.
But yeah, Zero is Taken apparently. Sizzling MMA says, utterly Noah went out in less pathetic way than Homelander, and this is why I drink. I like that. Sty Games says, MauLer, only you and Metal can play Lord of Ring PS4.
You already said earlier only Platoon could. I get it. This guy's lying.
No, that was for Xbox.
That was Xbox. You've got PS4.
Oh, but I don't have a PS4 anymore.
Get one. Mexi Rage says, picture this. You're a young actress in Hollywood and a film you are in is looking to fail and it is being terrible. How do you respond? A, say you had fun filming and hope that the fans like it. Or B, say you did it for the money. Or C, attack the fans. Hail. Well, I mean, if I was Rachel Zegler or Millie Aldecocks, I would probably go for C. Attack. What about you guys?
If I were them, attack, yes. If I were myself, probably option A was the one where you said you had fun and it's a shame people didn't like it. That seems like a realistic, reasonable response.
I would say that's probably the reasonable person's response.
I'll take a leaf out of Michael Caine's book and said, I just did it for the money.
Yeah. LC Le Pen says, so Brendan Fraser's back on the weight bench prepping for Mummy 4. He's on a well-deserved rebound. Just hope he avoids injury and the movie's good. I think we're all praying for that. Please.
Mm-hmm.
I hope the movie's good, but more than that, I just hope keep Brendan Fraser safe. Don't let him do any stunts. Just keep that man safe. He's a treasure. One of the few good ones in Hollywood, sadly. Master of Puppets says, just finished Platoon's Avatar 3 video. Listening to all the dirty jokes and insults in Platoon's cultured voice makes them all the more hilarious. Condolences on your playthrough of Mistake, MauLer.
Mistake. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the condolences.
A Million Man says, off topic, but I didn't think of it last week. To truly make the Odyssey contemporary, Nolan should have had Matt Damon shout, leg it in that scene. That would have been beautiful. And Nordstrom says, I could totally see Kripke creaming his pants because he finally got the Orange Man. I mean, Homelander to his knees, pathetic and crying. That's it. It's literally the meme, the writer's thinly disguised fetish.
Mm-hmm.
So,
oh, yeah. Not so thinly disguised, really.
Hope it was worth it.
He got paid.
Everyone got paid.
Yeah, that, they got paid really well.
Good. I am going to finish there, though. So, as we always do, MauLer and I will go through the super chats that we didn't quite get to on the night on last orders. So, we will look forward to doing that. I want to say thank you to my amazing panel of guests, Gary, Darkhour, Kung Fu Hot Dog, Platoon. You guys, beautiful as always. I had nothing but faith in you, and you've delivered. I suppose I should say as well, Gary, you and I are going to be at Southwest Gaming Convention in South Carolina in July of this year.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Yes,
hardcore
we are.
gamer that you are.
Yeah, I can't wait to do a symposium. Is that what they're called? On gaming skills. Gaming skills. That's what I'm going to be talking about.
Whoa.
Yeah.
We're going to have you do a live stream of just playing Lord of Ring Golem.
Yes.
It's going to be glorious.
Maybe mixtape. You never know.
Yeah. But yes, I'll be putting more details up on my channel, on my community page on my channel, so you guys can see it. But know that it's going to happen in July, so believe that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm going to be doing a premiere for our short films that we made, Trial by Fire and Complications. That's going to be in Toronto on June 27th. The details of which you can find on my my post page, my community tab on my channel. I'm going to be putting more information up about that shortly, but the link is there if you want to book tickets for that. So yeah, get them while you can, because there's only a very limited number, and we are looking forward to that. So I'm going to be there, and I'm going to hang with you guys, and you get to see the short films that we've made. So should be fun. But anyway, in the meantime, that is all we've got right here for today on Open Bar. So go away now.
Adios.
Bye.